12 months. Give them a call, 314-696-5909. That's 314-696-5909, or anytime 24/7 at universalwindowsdirect.com.
If you're like me, you've been spending a lot of time at home. You may be noticing the scuffs and faded colors on your walls, the cracked, peeling paint on the outside of your home. Protect your home investment with quality painting from CertaPro painters. They make your experience worry-free, starting with a free on-site or remote estimate. It's your choice. I did one from the comfort of my own home. It's quick, safe, and easy. You can trust them to get the job done right. Schedule your free estimate today at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with the C.
Talked to a friend the other day who was getting ready to put his house on the market, and he had hired some painters to come over and paint the trim and do some other things, and he was having to get some of his siding replaced. And he looked at me and he goes, "Wait a minute, you had that Rhino shield put on a few years ago, didn't you?" And I just smiled at him because I did. And I had it put on 12 years ago, and I don't have to worry about touching up anything because it looks as good today as it did the day they put it on. I couldn't be happier with this product. It's an exterior ceramic coating is what they call it. It looks beautiful like any paint job you might get. It just lasts for 25 years. It's fantastic. Call Darren. Let him come over and give you an estimate on this great product. He's honoring right now his 2019 pricing. So take advantage of that while you can. Get on the schedule, 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly. Everyone's lives have completely changed over the last few months, and we're all adjusting to the new norm. Most folks have lost some income and are adding a lot of new debt. There's never been a better time in history for a cash-out refinance. That's how you come out of the shutdown ready for whatever the future brings. Get pre-approved for your cash-out refinance today with our 5-minute loan approval, only available at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Stay connected every weekday. Mark Cox and Ryan Kilmeade in the morning. Annie Frey, then Dave Glover in the afternoon. Sean Hannity every weekday evening. 97.1 FM Talk. Streaming at 971talk.com. The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
So if you're in the news business, you obey Google. When Google tells you to do something, you do it. You have no choice. They can bankrupt you in a minute, and they will.
A lot of discussion taking place in the last, this kind of came out right after our show was ending yesterday. And I keep an eye on Twitter during the show, and I saw that there was some hubbub about the Federalist, which is a website that I love to read. It's a great perspective on what's going on in the news. And it turned out that Google decided to demonetize the Federalist. And that makes me go, why? What in the world? So then we find out over the course of the last 24 hours what happened. And I cannot wait to tell you the story, but with somebody from the Federalist, John Davidson, who is the political editor at the Federalist. Katie, you said he was on Laura Ingram's show last night.
Yep, he was.
And then Tucker Carlson had on John Davidson from the Federalist to talk about what is going on. If you are wondering how fair and balanced the media as a whole is, there is a whole new world that you need to be aware of right now. And that is how these businesses stay afloat. Somebody who has the ability to come at you with news, with information, and yes, with even opinion. When Google owns the magnitude of what they own, and they are not in check the way other places are in check because Congress This is what Josh Hawley has been hawking about. And this is kind of Hawley hawking. Katie is getting Josh Hawley on the show for us here real soon, right?
Oh,
right?
yeah. Working on it every day.
We're excited to get him on. This is what he has been very aggressively pursuing. And I think it's something we need to be paying attention to. We need to be very keen on what kind of power Google has and also what kind of exemption Google has. It's a scary proposition. Listen to Sean Davis last night on Tucker Carlson's show.
We learned about this from NBC News, from the reporter, Ms. Frazier, who emailed a general info account at the Federalist. She didn't email me or my partners or my founders saying, hey, we heard that Google demonetized you. What do you think about that? And it's at that point where we started reaching out to connections that we have at Google and found out that it turns out, yeah, something was going on there, but it wasn't what NBC or Ms. Frazier had said. In fact, it looks like NBC, the network that coddled Harvey Weinstein and Matt Lauer, by the way, had partnered with a foreign left-wing group in Europe to go after us and to use Google to go after us. And as of now, since we have temporarily removed our comment sections, I can assure you they will be back. We are back in Google's good graces. But this is a pretty terrifying example of the power that you have between the unholy union of corrupt media and monopolistic tech oligarchs.
So here's what you need to understand, folks. Aren't you very aware that the majority of the media that you consume has a liberal bent to it? Ryan, when you are watching a television show or going on a publication, I mean, the assumption is, and for me, is that it's going to be progressive leaning, moderate to left. If I find out that there is potentially a moderate to conservative right bent to it, I'm shocked. Like that's the surprising thing. The default, wouldn't you say, is left leaning?
Oh, definitely. I mean, you're right. Shocked when you find out something might be. At this point, I'm almost surprised and happy when I find out that they're not going to put politics in it center stage.
Yeah.
Because there's always a left lean to it. As long as you can back away from that a little bit, I'll give you some grace.
Yeah, so you don't have to comb through with the understanding that, okay, there are facts in here, but they're using facts paired with their opinion and their perspective to sell you something, which is an idea, as opposed to, here's the truth, decide for yourself. I mean, those are the good old days, I guess. I don't know that I've been alive during the good old days. So this is a hugely important distinction. I am somebody who worked at 97.1. I've been with 97.1 for over 11 years. I know that you and I have only known each other if you were there for the first Andy Frey show, and if so, my apologies for what you endured on the first Saturday Andy Frey show. Literally the first time I hosted for Mark Cox, the most nervous I've been for anything in my entire life. I've gotten married. I've had 3 kids. I have had job interviews. Nothing even compares at all to the first time that Mark Cox decided to take a Sunday evening off. And Jeff at the time said, Annie, I want you to fill in. I'm like, oh yeah, I could do that. No problem. And then I went and peed in my pants in a room somewhere else. Oh my gosh. It was the most nerve-wracking thing. I don't know. I don't think I even made it there. I had to get out of Jeff's office and act like a cool cucumber and then go like rock back and forth in a corner somewhere and be like, you can do this. You can do this. Why did you say you would do this? So the thing that I understand very well is the digital landscape. And in the midst of the time that I participated in building the digital brand that is 97.1. I started in 2009. In February 2nd or 3rd is my hire date for 97.1. I came into a digital world where the people who were around me, I didn't come into a world where everybody around me was an expert on this and had been doing like it wasn't radio, it was digital. And if you think back to what 2009 digital stuff looked like compared to what 2020 digital stuff looks like. I mean, the 2012, let's go back to 2008. One of the things that Obama was credited for was the idea of grasping this new platform in 2008 to try to reach a different group of voters in a way that had never been used before. It was YouTube, folks. Like, it was not even a mainstream thing, but the Obama administration used YouTube as a way to reach people, or Obama campaign, I should say. It was very forward thinking. And then in 2012, The Obama machine, the digital campaign that they ran was so like light years ahead of what other people were doing. And then in 2016, you know who did it? Trump. Trump did it. And he's doing it right now. The way they've maximized and harnessed the ability to utilize this is shop talk, and I kind of throw up in my mouth when I hear this phrase, the digital space. Like, what the heck is the digital space? If you're listening to us right now on our Facebook Live at facebook.com/Annie Frey Show, if you're watching us on your smart TV, on your YouTube app, just type in Annie Frey. You can see we're live there. Or if you've downloaded us on the radio.com app, chances are you're going to hear an ad here and there. People are making money off of the ads you see on any of these platforms. If you're on Facebook and you look in the right column, there are ads there. A lot of them, if they're good ads, look like content to you. And you know this. And they're in your head. They know what you've searched. I swear they know what you say that you don't even type in. The creepiest thing ever. Like, run an experiment. Talk at 3 points in one day about needing to buy something that you absolutely don't need, and see if you get an ad served by it. I don't know if it's like a legend or a myth, but it happens.
It happens.
It's so crazy bizarre. So, and every once in a while I'll be looking at my phone or have my phone in my lap, and it pops up in the notification thing, this thing that's like indicates that it's listening to you. I'm like, what you doing there? Get
out of here.
Were you just talking about getting a new hose? Wait, what?
We should do that. We should come up with a few different items and see how long it takes us to.
Yes.
People go on the Facebook page or on the YouTube live right now and comment things that we should see if we can talk about, and then we'll see if we get ads. And if you comment on one of these things, you might get ads for it because Facebook can read what you're commenting. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So here's the thing. Google knows things about you. Google knows things about the people who come up in searches. And Google is not just a search bar. Google runs a company, a business, a part of its entity is called AdSense. So on my YouTube page, YouTube is a Google product. You can go to Annie Frey, just type in Annie Frey on YouTube. I need subscribers there because I can't maximize the usage of that channel until I get 1,000 subscribers. So here's my shameless plug to play YouTube's game here and get as many subscribers on the Annie Frey YouTube channel as I possibly can. But once I can start running ads on that channel, now YouTube is enabling me to monetize my brand. Well, the Federalist is a brand that has ads that are being served through AdSense. That's the Google platform. That is how these publications make their money. You know, when you go on to, I think maybe the Post-Dispatch has this. I know the Belleville News Democrat, the Chicago Tribune, the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times. You know how they give you like 3 articles a month? And like once you've met that, it says, oh, you've met your max. You can subscribe now. That's like buying a newspaper subscription because everything is digital right now. You pay them and then you get to access their content, but they need to figure out a way to beat, because people don't in mass get the actual paper delivered to their breakfast table anymore. People need to subscribe online. That's how they make money. That's how they pay their employees. Except for the fact they also make money with the ads that you see on their websites. And the vast majority of the money that most of these online publications make come from the ads that they serve. Just like when you listen to the radio, and in a second here, I'm going to take a break because Katie pays her bills with the money that comes in from those commercials. When you support people like Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group, who's going to be on with us here at 1240, when you decide to, because you're intelligent and you know that you want your retirement to work for you, you choose Retirement Advisory Group to help you prepare for retirement. You're supporting me because Thomas Helbig is supporting this show. So you get to turn the radio on, and I'm very aware that you get to turn the radio off at your leisure. You do not have to put a quarter in the machine. I mean, give me a break. Who puts a quarter in a machine and gets anything anymore? Like $1 that spits out you 100 times. Maybe that's how this show feels sometimes. Like, why won't it take my $1? You don't have to put any money into it. You have the opportunity when you go to somebody who has partnered with me, and you decide to do your home renovation with Lakeside Renovation and Design, and you say, I heard about you on the Annie Frey Show, they know that their advertising dollars spent here are valuable. That's how you support me, and that's how I get to continue to come be here, along with Katie and Ryan and Andrew, who's helping us in the back, and everybody else who's involved in this station. It's a deal here. Google runs that machine for everything that is online, basically. There is not another business in the game that they can compete with. Google told the Federalist that you have comments on your website that you're allowing people to say whatever they want to say in their comments, and you own the responsibility of those comments. And since you are not controlling them and making sure that they are all copacetic with whatever ideology, you can't have our ads on your site anymore. Demonetizing, that takes them out of the game. Unless all of those people are going to continue to come to work and write articles because it makes them feel good inside, they can't do that. They're going to have to go get jobs somewhere else. That's how media gets paid in 2020 in many capacities, is through digital advertising. Google is the biggest player in the game, and in many cases, they are the only player in the game. And the craziest part about this is the exemption that they have been given from Congress. So when we come back, we're going to talk with John Davidson. I'm going to move highlights off to the last segment. We're going to do highlights today. We haven't done it in a long time because honestly, I keep forgetting to get a story. So Thomas Helbig is going to be with us at 12:40. We're going to speak with John Davidson, the political editor at the Federalist. He was on Laura Ingram's show, The Ingram Angle, last night. And he's going to tell us what Google is doing here and what we need to know to stop it. Because this is a very, very serious thing. It is the control of the dissemination of information, and it is in the palm of Google's hands. Don't go anywhere. Stream us live at facebook.com/Annie Frey Show. Get all your friends in here, and let's all talk about advertising. What do we want? Yard hoses?
So far, we just want a hose. That's all we want.
Just a hose.
A new
Okay.
hose.
Your suggestions of ridiculous things that we should just talk about in our lives to see if we get ads served to us on these platforms, see how much Google is listening to us. Comment it on YouTube or on Facebook. And if you don't mind subscribing to my YouTube channel so I can get up to that 1,000 subscriber mark. I've got like 450 or something right now. Go subscribe. Annie Frey. We'll be back in a minute.
With me, oh yeah, sell out with me tonight. The record company's gonna give me lots of money and everything's gonna be alright.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Hi, this is Lance Drury. If you have payroll tax problems, you have serious legal problems, you need an attorney. Call 314-260-6120 or toll free 888-367-6512 or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
What's your favorite four-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times with this social distancing, face mask wearing, staying at home world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our four-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. Hope that your retirement plans don't take a backseat. You've watched the market drop and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments and find out how you may be able to save big on taxes while the market is down. Find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call the team today to set up a meeting, 314-373-1598, Compass Retirement Solutions, 314-373-1598. And for more on retirement planning, listen to Rethinking Retirement, Saturdays at 8 and 4 and Sundays at 11. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Compass Retirement Solutions does not provide tax advice.
Jules on Hampton in St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches on site. Jules on Hampton is a premier jeweler with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jules on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks, sports memorabilia, and figurines too. Jules on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa. Call them at 314-752-5000. Jules on Hampton.
Michael's Flooring Outlet is waiting for your visit for your flooring purchase. If you have been checking out some flooring, maybe at some of the big box stores, maybe you've looked at some other flooring stores. If you haven't gone to Michael's Flooring Outlet yet, you need to check them out before you make your final decision. Michael and his wonderful experienced staff will definitely be able to pair you with the right flooring for your circumstances. Like, take, for instance, the waterproof floors. These floors are manufactured with materials that are resistant to moisture, which would damage or destroy many other flooring types. The wonderful staff at Michael's Flooring Outlet can set you up with exactly the right product for your circumstances. In my house, we have a dog, we have little kids. There is a lot of life being lived on these floors. Michael's Flooring Outlet will take all of that into consideration and make sure that you are paired up with the perfect flooring at a fantastic value. They also have the very popular Mohawk Smart Strand, Forever Clean Arrow, and Redwood Plus flooring. They've got everything you need at Michael's Flooring Outlet in St. Charles County, West County, Darden Prairie, and anytime online at michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
It's one thing to be stuck in your house due to COVID-19. It's another thing to be stuck with a house. We have good news for homeowners listening throughout St. Louis. Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis is still buying houses. More importantly, we offer sellers a completely virtual selling process that maintains social distancing standards. Sell your home now. Call Chris today and get a cash offer in just 7 minutes. Call 314-782-7000. Can't collect rent? Not a problem. We buy My Tenant Won't Pay Me the Rent houses as well as vacant houses. We buy houses as is and deal with any situation. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call Chris today and get your house sold. 314-782-7000. That's 314-782-7000. 314-782-7000.
St. Louis is listening.
I'm 25. Whenever I'm having these conversations with my friends, I'm hearing them out and I'm already aware of kind of what's being said.
It's the place for ideas.
We just feel empowered by listening.
97.1.
Just to make myself more aware.
FM Talk.
Into the unknown.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show.
Into the unknown. I can hear you, but I won't. Some look for trouble, while others don't. There's 1,000 reasons I should go about my day and ignore your whispers, which I wish would go away. You're not a voice, you're just a ringing in my ear. And if I heard you, which I don't, I'm spoken for, I fear. Everyone I've ever loved is here within these walls.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Happy to be with you. Keep sending us your comments on the Facebook Live and the YouTube Live right now. You can go to just search Annie Frey on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, and if you ring, there's a little bell there that you can click. That'll notify you when we go live on YouTube. And then also you can make sure you like the Annie Frey Show Facebook page. You'll get notified when we go live there. We're asking you to suggest things that we should talk about in our lives to see how quickly we get ads served to us. Just by the discussion of it, it's kind of very strange. The reason why we bring this up is because Google is front and center in the news right now, and which is really saying something because there's a lot going on in the news right now. I want to get straight to our guest here, John Davidson, the political editor at the Federalist. You can follow him on Twitter at John D. Davidson, is joining us now. He's on the Ingram Angle last night talking about how Google demonetized the Federalist, which is a publication that I love to read. Wonderful factual information that is provided from there. So, John, thank you very much for the time today. It's a pleasure to speak with you.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I was explaining in the first segment here, I was the digital brand manager for 97.1 here, the station that we're on, for about 10 years before I was on the radio full time. And so I know a lot about the digital space, and I know a lot about how powerful Google is in making or breaking digital businesses. So can you kind of set the table for us? What did Google do to the Federalist, and what is the overall impact of Google's ability to provide advertising to a business like the Federalist and pull it back?
Yeah, so it's interesting. Google didn't actually do much to the Federalist. This is really a story about NBC News because NBC News got their facts wrong. They reported that Google had demonetized the Federalist, but that didn't actually happen. And we actually never heard anything officially from Google. We found out about this because of NBC News' story, which the reporter never reached out to us. She sent an email to our generic media at the Federalist.com email address, but never reached out to the editors or anyone on staff. And so we found out about this from this faulty news report from NBC News, and we contacted Google to find out what was this all about, because our ads were still working. And Google explained to us that there may be a problem with the comment section, which was unmoderated, and we need to work with them to get that fixed, which we're doing now. But the scary thing here is that NBC News, a giant corporate media company, tried to enlist the help of Google in getting us demonetized. And they did it at the behest of a left-wing media watchdog group based in the United Kingdom that had a problem with an article I wrote criticizing the corporate media's coverage of the riots.
Yeah, this is a competitor going backdoor to not, challenge your thought, your opinion on a specific issue. They tried to take you out of the game.
That's right. This is really a bizarre case of sort of collusion between corporate media and big tech to silence a smaller competitor that whose opinions they don't like. This is about a difference of opinion, and it was cast as a violation of Google's standards about content about race and derogatory comments. Nothing that we have published has ever run afoul of any guidelines that Google has ever put out. This was about the comment section. The worst comment section on the internet is YouTube, which is wholly owned by Google. So there's another question here about what standards is Google applying to their advertising clients that are not being applied to Google because of a carve-out in federal law, which is Section 230, which a lot of people have been talking about lately. So there's a lot of questions here about, to what extent is Google responsible for fair treatment? And to what extent do we need to give companies like Google carve-outs in federal law that they're not giving to their own clients?
We're speaking with John Davidson, the political editor at The Federalist. Go to thefederalist.com early and often to see some fantastic content that they have put up there. So what I hear you saying is Google is holding The Federalist to a standard that Congress has exempted Google from having to follow. Is that correct?
That's right. That's essentially right. They're saying your comment section is unmoderated and there's some nasty comments in there. Well, I wouldn't know. I don't read the comment section. I don't ever read the comments. But no, we don't monitor our comment section. That's true of a lot of sites, especially for smaller operations like ours. We don't have hundreds and hundreds of employees, and we don't have the resources to monitor our comments, which again is not uncommon for an online publication. But the idea that we would be responsible for what third parties say on a comment platform is kind of like saying that Twitter or Facebook should be responsible for everything a Twitter or Facebook user posts on their platform.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. There's literally no difference.
We're speaking with John Davidson, political editor at The Federalist. John, I wanted to insert a question here really quick, just because I find this fascinating. I don't know your personal politics, but if you have a libertarian lean to you at all, I just wonder, are you in favor of the president kind of getting involved in this issue and Congress maybe even stepping in and regulating things here?
Well, I am in favor of us all together thinking about what's going on here and considering the ways in which Congress is already involved in this. And that's what I mentioned earlier with this Section 230 in federal law gives companies like Google and Facebook and Twitter a carve-out protection against liability for things that third parties post. That was a concession that was given to these internet companies, put into federal law in 1996. So the idea that government isn't involved is not quite true. Government is already involved. And what we need to ask is that a good thing? Should government be involved in the way it is, or should government's involvement change a little bit, since the landscape, the digital landscape, is completely different than it was when this federal law was put into place in the mid-90s?
John, I want to ask you a question about NBC's actions in this. I'm trying to imagine if Russia would have done what NBC did, what people would be saying about this, or if Fox News would have done, or if, everyone knows about OAN now because of OSU's football coach. If NBC is trying to silence somebody of a different opinion, it seems like we, to some extent, have just gone through years of national trials of trying to figure out about collusion, to silence one other side, to figure out how other people are trying to affect and persuade on the digital front, the ads that we were told that Russia was buying to no avail, to try to influence people's opinions. It seems to me like NBC is doing a version of this where they are trying to collude with another organization to try to silence or persuade other people based on the information that is or is not available.
Absolutely. I think that we should dispense with the idea that NBC News is interested in the news or in factual or fair reporting, right? This is the network that harbored Matt Lauer for years. This is the network that quashed the Harvey Weinstein story. This is the network that has many, many instances, even just in recent years, of not really caring about the news, not caring about the facts, and not caring about the free exchange of ideas. These are corporate behemoths. And the sooner that the American people realize that they're not really news organizations like they say they are, they're eyeball conglomerators and media companies, the better off we'll be. Let's dispense with the fiction that NBC News cares about the news. They care about profits, and they care about silencing dissent, and they care about not being challenged even by smaller competitors like the Federalist, which, by the way, often are critical of NBC, not just NBC, but CNN and the New York Times and Washington Post and all the big media companies.
Well, I want to, like I said in the first segment, I was kind of explaining the digital landscape of how businesses like the Federalist, or even, the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, people who have normally had newspapers delivered to breakfast tables all across the country, have gone to a much more digital model. The Federalist, I'm looking right now on the Federalist.com. People who are listening right now who want to make sure that Google doesn't have this sort of authority and power and sway over places like the Federalist. When I go here and I look at subscribe, there are multiple opportunities where people can subscribe to the Federalist and support the Federalist. So I want to give you a quick opportunity to talk about what if folks aren't going to the Federalist every day to see what kind of content you're putting out, what do you get at the Federalist, and how can people support it?
The best way to support the Federalist is by reading our articles, sharing them, talking about them. We do use Google Ads, but we don't exclusively use Google Ads. We have really good traffic. We have a lot of readers. Our readership is growing by leaps and bounds in recent years. And, we take a pretty fair look at the political and cultural landscape from a right of center perspective. We are by no means monolithic in our views. Our editors and staffers disagree on all kinds of things. We don't take editorial stances because we can't get any of us to agree on an editorial stance. The only editorial stance we've ever taken is that the White House Correspondents' Dinner should be abolished forever. But you'll get a good mix of right of center, conservative, libertarian, moderate, and independent opinions about the cultural and political news of the day at the Federal. So if you're interested in that, go to the website, read our articles, share them, talk about them.
Well, it's thefederalist.com. And John, it's been a pleasure to have you on here. We're going to watch this very closely because I think this is about to become a very, very large story, and we will see how it unfolds. Thank you so much, John. Great to speak with you.
Thanks for having me. I enjoyed it.
Yep, absolutely. I enjoy the Federalist. It's one of the places that I have, when I see an article, it's one that I always save and set to the side because I don't want to just skim through it. I want to absorb every word of it. So check it out. Thefederalist.com is a great resource, a great way to get a different kind of opinion, or a well thought out opinion. Thomas Helbig is going to join us when we come back. He is with Retirement Advisory Group. He is a friend of mine. He is a sponsor of the show, and I get to go out and be with Thomas Helbig. I get to go out somewhere. It's got to be in Missouri, of course. But that's where the freedom lives, and that's where I'm going to go be along with Thomas Helbig, and I want you to join me. But I'm going to tell you a little bit more when we come back about what he's going to talk about and why it is a must reserve opportunity. You got to get a seat reserved, and I will tell you all about that when we come back. Make sure you go to the Facebook Live, the YouTube Live. Just type in Annie Frey, and you'll see that we're live there now, and you can stream us at radio.com. Subscribe to our podcast there as well. Thomas Helbig when we come back.
I wish would go away.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
You're just a ringing in my ear.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Everyone I've ever loved is here within these walls. I'm sorry, secret siren, but I'm blocking out your calls.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air conditioner tune-ups are recommended each year to keep your cooling system running efficiently, prevent repairs, and extend its life. Schedule your AC tune-up and get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Lift, move, level, pier, foundation replacement, EHM is here.
For your home, it all starts with a strong foundation. EHM adds value and livable space to your home. Whether it's turning your crawl space into a basement, elevating your home after a flood, or fixing bowed and cracked walls in an older foundation, call 314-384-4210. EHM can put a brand new engineered basement under your existing home. So stop throwing money at patches for your foundation problems. Total foundation replacement can cost the same or even less than a quick fix repair. No more water, no more cracks. EHM, serving the Midwest since 1994 with 3 generations of experience. Visit ehmmidwest.com or call 314-384-4210.
Lift, move, level, pier, foundation replacement, EHM is here.
Hey guys, Glover here. If you are nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market games without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the DGS. Hey guys, Glover here from my very good friends at ThrottleNet. So if you ever listen to one of these recorded ads, listen to this one. A company can expect 232 targeted cyber attacks per year that results in 30 breaches. 24% of businesses hit with malware took a week or more to regain access to their data. Many businesses just flat go under. They are targeting small towns. They are targeting dentist offices. They are targeting big businesses. They're targeting government. You're going to get hit. Let me tell you about ThrottleNet. ThrottleNet has saved their clients more than $2.6 million in ransom last year alone. And get this. ThrottleNet clients have never paid a dime in ransomware. Let me say that again. They've never paid a dime because they are protected. No contracts. Leave anytime you want. You have to check these guys out. You'll find them at throttlenet.com to protect your business, to protect everything you have. Go to throttlenet.com.
Lombardo Homes understands we are working through unprecedented times. The safety of our customers and our team members is our top priority. Lombardo Homes displays and communities are open with added safety measures for your comfort. Team members are available for personalized appointments and video tours. Floor plan virtual tours are also available. Talk to a sales manager to learn about the advantages of building a new home now. For more information, visit our website at lombardohomes.com.
Selecting a financial advisor is one of the most important decisions you will make heading into retirement. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money every Saturday morning at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Choosing a financial advisor is a critical step in planning for your retirement. You want to find an advisor you can trust is working in your best interest with the experience to do the job well. providing guidance solely in your best interest is foundational to our team's approach. And with over 90 years of combined experience, you can have confidence we have the depth of knowledge to help you navigate important financial decisions. If you're retiring in the next 5 years or need a second opinion on your current plan, contact us today for a free consultation. To schedule your free retirement planning consultation, contact us at bobstockdale.com. That's bobstockdale.com. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
With mortgage rates at historic lows and homes selling with multiple offers, why would you ever pay more than 4? I'm Christina Straight. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. 441 all fours.
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Hey Siri, play 97.1 FM Talk.
It's that easy. Catch all your favorite shows. Mark Cox, Brian Kilmeade, Annie Frey, Dave Glover, Sean Hannity at radio.com.
Can't explain all the feelings that you're making me feel. My heart's in overdrive and you're behind the steering wheel. Touching you, touching me, touching you, got to touch you.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thanks for joining us today. We're over 500 subscribers on our YouTube channel now, so thank you to you 500 fantastic people. Just type in Annie Frey. You'll see on YouTube where we are live. You can subscribe there. I'm trying to get over 1,000. If you're bored and you're eating your lunch, I guess y'all could still be in the Arby's drive-thru. Can you eat in restaurants, like in fast food restaurants in Missouri now?
Yes, you can. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
some of them.
aren't you
not
special?
All, but some. Yes, you can.
You kid in Florida too, man. By the time I left there, I was like, this is what it's supposed to be like. And it's interesting to drive around here in Illinois and to see all of the big tents that are being put up outside of restaurants. I know the Texas Roadhouse, which we frequent regularly, or regular, like Jared calls and they're like, oh, is this Jared Frey? And
we know the order by heart.
2 grilled chicken salads, 1 with no tomatoes, ranch, extra croutons.
That sounds so good.
It is so good. It's good, and it is kind of healthy. It could be worse. It's not the worst thing you can order at Roadhouse.
Salad.
But they've got a huge tent out there, and they've got all these picnic tables out there, and it's like the middle of June. Well, you want to eat a steak and hot mashed potato, like this big, heavy meal in St. Louis June weather. Fortunately, it's been beautiful. So I'm happy for all these people. I almost feel like it's a gift from God, the weather that we've had. We haven't had rain. We've had pretty moderate, like livable, not as awful as it could possibly be, temperatures and weather. That's allowing these businesses to be able to make some money. That I'm grateful for that. But I just feel like I look at it and to me it seems kind of silly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe
I
I'm
love
the only
eating
one.
outside, but in June. But I also love flies, so that's my thing.
Oh, okay, and mosquitoes, I bet too.
And mosquitoes,
so,
yeah, and just hot meat.
Hot meat and mosquitoes. There you go. Ryan, we were talking about the not promos. There's one of them.
Yeah,
there it is.
yeah,
We'll
there
just
we go.
mark it down. We'll discuss that a little bit more in a little
Basically,
bit.
just anytime I say anything.
This is a natural way to segue into Thomas Helbig. This is like perfect. I'm so excited to have Thomas Helbig here so that I can change the subject. With the Retirement Advisory Group, we are going to have another event. I'm so excited to be able to come out and see you fine folks again, along with Dave Glover, Mark Cox, and of course, the man of the hour, Thomas Helbig. Thomas, thanks for coming on with us today. It's great to talk to you again.
Good to be here again. Hi, Katie. How are you?
We're
Katie and Annie and Ryan.
Ryan. Yep, we are all here. So, Thomas, I got to say, the economy makes no sense to me. I don't understand it. I saw some really fantastic, retail sales numbers skyrocketing.
Yes, they looked really good. Retail looked really good.
Well, I'm sure that people who you deal with, and you deal with so many Annie Frey Show listeners that have reached out to you, and you are just a champion for getting these hardworking people who have saved and saved and saved for retirement
to make sure that they are confident when they go into retirement. What are you telling people right now about the state of the economy and what they need to be doing?
Well, I'm telling them, remember this, we're in an election year. So we're going to definitely see a lot of volatility ahead till the election. We really are. And if you're nearing retirement or already retired, you need to learn some strategies how to lock in your gains and avoid any future losses. Because again, we don't know what the market's going to do, but there's definitely going to be volatility. We always have that in election year, and especially what's going on with the COVID and everything else. There's a lot of unrest out there. So whenever there's uncertainty, it's going to be volatility in the market.
Yeah. And people need to have that confidence. I would imagine it's anytime, it doesn't matter what the economy is doing, as you get close to retirement and you see what you've amassed over the years that you've been saving, you keep asking yourself, is this going to be enough? Can I be confident that I can retire the way that I wanted to? You set people up. You give them all of the advice that they need to make sure that they are in a confident place. Exactly.
Show them how to keep all the gains. Because again, everybody lost a good 30% back in February and March. And the good news is it's really coming back. It's not quite back all the way, but pretty much so. So there's and people need to think about this. If you're near retirement, how would you like to have that market turn around and drop another 34? You never know. So it's time to lock in your gains, and I'm going to educate you and show you how to do that and still participate in any growth of the market, but you won't lose any have any future losses in the future. And that's important, and people need to learn about that. And there's a lot of people out there that also may have been furloughed because of this COVID crisis, and they are now allowed to roll over their 401ks tax-free and lock in those gains and set it up for retirement. So that's another thing we'll talk about.
Well, Thomas Helbig invites Mark Cox and Dave Glover and myself out to come meet you and invites you to come hear him. The thing that I appreciate about what you do, Thomas, is that people have the opportunity to come listen to you and know what you're about before they sign up and decide to put their retirement in your hands, the hands that I would trust my retirement into. You have these events. It's called the Protecting Your Retirement Educational Event. And this one coming up here is Thursday, June 25th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30 p.m. But you do have to reserve your seat. Tell me a little bit about the preparations that you're making to make sure that we're not like sardines inside of a tiny little room here and just breathing on each other.
That's a good question. I want everybody to know we are taking all the CDC guidelines and precautions. We have an extra large room, number one. Number two, we're doing the social distancing. Tables are spread out. A couple can sit together if you're a couple, but everybody will sit at least 6 feet apart. So everybody will be spread out. And it will, so you don't have to worry about it. We are following all the CDC guidelines, so you won't be packed in there on sardines. So, and we have a limit to where, we're only going to have a certain amount of people. So everybody will be spread out, and it'll be a really good event. And you don't want to miss this because people are starting to call in now.
And you don't talk forever. It's not a long commitment. If you go, you're going to get the information you need. You're going to be able to make the decisions you need to make to partner with Thomas Helbig. But like Thomas just said here, you need to get this seat reserved for you and your spouse. If you want to go with another couple, here's how you do it. You call 855-755-1555. 855-755-1555. You can go online to retirementkey.com. And Thomas, I always try to say I want that room packed full of Annie Frey show listeners. So people need to call in now. And then the whole room will be full of people that listen to the station the whole day, but then I get to come meet them. So I just want to be able to meet as many of our listeners as possible.
But when we say full, you won't be packed in there. Believe me, we're keeping everybody spread out. But I want to bring this up. We have fun, don't we? The first 10, 15 minutes, don't we, Annie?
Yes.
We do a little trivia. We give out T-shirts. And I don't start talking till about 6:45, and I'm done at 7:30. So I only talk for 45 minutes. That's it. The first 15 minutes is fun, trivia, T-shirts, stuff like that.
Yep.
So I want everybody to know that. So please call the 855-755-1555 or go to retirementkey.com and sign up.
Fantastic. Thomas, thanks for coming on today. We look forward to seeing you here in a week or so.
Thank you, Annie. I appreciate you having me on. Bye, everybody. Take care.
No problem at all. I'm looking forward to it. These events, Katie, you've gone to one of them before. They are fun. And
they are fun.
It's exciting because it's a 97-1 event. So everybody in there is familiar with this station, and you hear Mark Cox talking about it on his show, or Dave Glover talking about it on his show, or me talking about it here. So it's just kind of an exciting thing to do. And I'm more excited about this one coming up than any of the other ones, because I've been unable to go talk to you folks and meet with you. And we had so many plans.
The social interaction will be just what you needed, Annie. That'll be perfect.
Yep. You know how much I love it.
But this isn't, but
this is different.
This is different because you haven't been able to do that.
Yeah, if you don't know Annie very well, when she's on the radio, she's one person, but in person, she's this big, boisterous personality. She just loves hugs. Yeah, I just
finished Slim 180. I'm less big than I was before.
she's this
20 pounds.
big person.
Here's another promo. We were just talking to Ryan about creating not promos for the show, and we just discussed this at a break, and he's like, yeah, we'll talk about it later. I don't know if he thought we would talk about it on the air, but I was like, all of those moments where we're discussing something and it just kind of falls flat, turn those into promos. We'll run them in the segment, because I don't know if we'll get away with actually running them in the commercial.
I control that, so
Here,
we can put those on.
I don't really want to. I feel like context within the segment is important for just a little
Annie
bit.
Frey show. Right in the middle of Kilmeade.
Yeah. That's, we want to get all those Kilmeade listeners in on the Annie Frey show. So what do we got coming up here? We've got Deroy Murdock. He's going to join us here in a few minutes, and we're going to talk about this. I think it's an article he wrote.
Yes.
George Floyd unrest fuels white self-doubt. I'm glad Deroy's talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
What a tiptoe world we live in right now. I have to say, I'm starting to see some people. I want to talk about Tucker Carlson too, and I got to figure out where I can really lay into this, because I have this 2-minute clip from his intro last night. Katie, you watched it, right?
I watched it, and he did not blink once.
Did he nail it though?
Oh, it was fabulous. It was great.
Fabulous. He talks about how big, he's got advertisers canceling on him right now. And he kind of claps back a little bit, and it involves people like you and me. So we're going to have that for you coming up later in the show. Watch us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube. We're at 523 subscribers. That's fantastic. We've added almost 100 today. I'm trying to get to 1,000, so we're like halfway there. Oh, we're halfway there. And we need you to join us. YouTube, Annie Frey, easy to subscribe. Just click the subscribe button. Deroy Murdock, when we come back.
Hey guys, this is Rachel from my good friends at Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. Most warranty companies will sign you up and then hope that you never contact them again. Or when you do, they deny your claim for lack of maintenance. You don't have to worry about that with Upkeep. At Upkeep, you deal with one home manager. That is your point person who is going to take care of everything for you. Upkeep comes out and will maintain your appliances and equipment 4 times a year. You know exactly who's going to show up because they don't contract out their work. And when they come in, they're not trying to upsell you. Let's face it, you probably already have a service plan or maintenance plan for your HVAC or equipment, but now you can have all of that plus your equipment covered for about the same cost. And the best part is now you have the peace of mind knowing that your equipment is taken care of and you're saving tons of money on your utilities. Log on to upkeepstl.com, check out everything they do, and mention the DGS and get $100 off the program. That website is upkeepstl.com.
Stewart's American Mortgage, online at stewartsamc.com. And you can call Stewie or even text him at 314-324-4440. Just talk to Stewie again today. And he is loving meeting all of the Annie Frey Show listeners. And I'm really excited about it too, because he is helping people in a really, really impactful way with the bagel loan that you've heard me talking about, where you can do a refi or you can do a home purchase and not pay those fees that other lenders are absolutely going to charge you for. It's the whole foundation of how Stewie set up his business with the bagel loan. He has added a new option for you, and that is the Bank Buster loan. He says it is going like hotcakes right now, and I want to make sure that you reach out to him to see how he can help you best. I've even heard of scenarios where he's used both kinds of loans for certain people, and wow, the savings is magnificent. 314-324-4440. Go to where I went to do my refi in 2019. You will not be disappointed. 314-324-4440. NMLS number 226715.
Okay, so maybe we're new to home improvement.
But we're determined.
So when it came to finding the perfect floor at the perfect price, our contractor gave us an insider tip. And whoa! At Floor & Decor, we shop the same incredible selection as real-life designers and contractors.
And I appreciated the budget-friendly prices.
Now, thanks to Floor & Decor, we're unstoppable.
Oh yeah, we found where the pros go.
Explore Floor & Decor in person or online at flooranddecor.com.
This is Lisa Stofan. Heard the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis hype? Well, I attended because my father stopped smoking. I lost 70 pounds and my friend lost 20 pounds in the first 2 months.
Wow, what are you waiting for? Because of coronavirus, seminar now online, live with America's hypnotist Mark Patrick in the comfort and safety of your living room. Live online seminar for the greater St. Louis area will be held live Saturday, June 20th. Register now, only $49.99 guaranteed.
KFTK FM Florissant, K254CR St. Louis, driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk, a radio.com station.
Preemptive finger pointing on Capitol Hill. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
The legislation is already bipartisan. The question is, can we get bipartisan support?
South Carolina Senator Tim Scott unveiling the new Republican bill aimed at reforming policing. It would use federal grants to spur changes in use of force policies, including a ban on chokeholds, and use data to track officers with excessive force complaints. But Democrats say it doesn't have the same teeth as a House plan.
Real change comes with accountability. As drafted, the Republican bill doesn't provide it.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says the bill fails to meet the moment. Republicans say if Democrats block the bill from debate, they're putting politics ahead of needed change. A police detective in suburban St. Louis, accused of hitting a black suspect with his SUV, then kicking and punching the man, is now charged with assault and armed criminal action. Joshua Smith had already been fired. The violent arrest caught on video happened after 4 St. Louis officers were shot and a retired police captain was killed during a night of violent protests in the city. Smith was pursuing suspects in a separate shots fired incident. His attorney says what happened with the car was an accident. Attorneys for the man who was hit say a second video shows clear intent. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo says not enough testing is being done to safely reopen other parts of the country.
The states without the smart reopening plans are going up. That is a fact. It's not a Democratic fact. It's not a Republican fact. There are no Democratic facts and Republican facts. They were just facts.
He's criticizing the federal government for downplaying recent increases in over 20 states. New York reporting 17 deaths yesterday, its lowest total since the pandemic began. Ask your Amazon smart speaker to play the news from Fox. America is listening to Fox News.
Bria's fashion boutique is the worst. First, they asked me if I needed help finding anything. Just because I'm gorgeous doesn't mean I need help.
No matter how hard you work for your small business, online reviewers will find something to complain about.
Then they tell me they're having a sale. Oh, so you're assuming I'm poor. Cool.
And while Progressive can't save you from these trolls, we can help you save money on commercial, auto, and business insurance.
Also, they tried to give me the friends and family discount. I'm not your friend, so...
Get a quote online today at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliated and third-party insurers.
Hey, if you're looking to cut costs and free up some cash on a monthly basis, start today with Pure Talk USA. Now, the average family of 4 is saving over $800 a year on cell phone service by switching to Pure Talk USA. Now, every plan includes unlimited talk and text. And by the way, it just starts at $20. So switch to Pure Talk today. Just dial #250 keyword Pure Radio. Pure Talk USA, simply smarter wireless. You'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text from Pure Talk USA.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
All about sunshine once again across the St. Louis area this afternoon. We'll try to edge it up to about 89 degrees. Tonight, clear skies. Drop it back to 65 degrees. On Thursday, still sunshine, partly to mostly sunny skies. I think the humidity comes up a little bit, 92 degrees. Friday, partly sunny skies, just a slight chance of a spot thunderstorm and quite humid. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Decision 2020 is here at 971talk.com/election and at radio.com. Brought to you by Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling on 97.1 FM Talk.
Is the summer of 2020 the year you upgrade her diamond? After all we've been through this year, can you think of a better way to make 2020 a year she will always remember in a positive way? Diamonds Direct is here to help with our best ever selection of large, rare diamonds and our most aggressive finance offer ever. 5 years, 0 interest financing with 0 down. So you can upgrade her diamond and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest charges. And if you bought her original diamond from us, it's even better because we'll give you 110% of your original purchase price to be used towards the upgrade. So you can really go big. If your luxury travel had to be postponed this year, make the journey to Diamonds Direct and let her escape in our world of sparkle and romance. And take advantage of our special summer of 2020 financing offer. 5 years, 0 interest with nothing down on approved credit. Diamonds Direct.
Olive and 270 at City Place.
Hey, I want you to come see me and Thomas Helbig, Mark Cox, and Dave Glover at the Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It is Thursday, June 25th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30 p.m. You have to reserve your seat, and seating is always limited, and this time especially because they're taking all of the necessary precautions following CDC guidelines and making sure that everybody continues to stay safe and healthy. They even got the biggest room at the Frontenac Hilton to make sure that social distancing is easy to keep in play. You have to reserve your seat. Here's how you do it. Call 855-755-1555. That's 855-755-1555 to reserve your seat. You can also go online, retirementkey.com. Again, it is the Protecting Your Retirement educational event, Thursday, June 25th at the Frontenac Hilton, 6:30 p.m. Put it down in your calendar. Call 855-755-1555 to reserve your spot now and come see myself, Mark Cox, Dave Glover, and the man, Thomas Helbig of Retirement Advisory Group. You will not be disappointed. Online at retirementkey.com.
Hey guys, Glover here from my friends at ARCA, Assisted Recovery Centers of America. So alcohol and opioid addiction is a huge problem in America, as you know. And with the coronavirus, it's become even worse. Just know that there is help right here in our community. Call ARCA at 314-645-6840 or visit arcamidwest.com. Everything is professional, everything is compassionate, and everything is private. That's arcamidwest.com for help.
Home truly is your place of trust. Protect your investment with a free remote estimate from CertaPro Painters. Show us what you'd like painted from the safety and comfort of your own home. We'll ask some questions and add some expert advice. Then we'll provide a detailed estimate so you know exactly what you're getting and what happens next. It's all quick, safe, and easy. Whatever painting project you have in mind, your local neighborhood CertaPro Painters will do the job right. Start your remote or on-site estimate today at CertaPro.com. Proven and trusted experts in painting.
News and perspective. Because every week is bringing changes. Nationally and locally. How do you stay connected? Tune into 97.1 FM Talk or visit 971talk.com for live streaming anytime. The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
The executive order is a good thing. And mainly because you saw the support of law enforcement there. That gives you a sense of where the bottom is, where the floor is for reform. And that floor is higher than it has been. There is movement in the direction of a database for bad cops. We've never had a federal database for bad cops. That's why these cops go all over the place doing bad stuff.
Van Jones talking about the executive order that the president signed yesterday. We've also seen Congress has started the conversation to try to put us on a better path. And this is a very encouraging thing. I was very excited yesterday to hear the president step up and take the lead and have a voice in this time. He needs to be that voice. He needs to be the leader. And it seems as though he has he met with a lot of these families. I think there were 8 families that he met with yesterday, and they were complimentary of the way he listened and seemed compassionate and genuine. So I hope that this puts us in a place where we can move forward with some progress, that we can take the moment that we're in right now and make our country better for it. That's kind of the American idea, the American experiment, isn't it? That we're always in pursuit of something that we've never quite attained the idea of what America is, because we can always improve. To me, that's what we get to do in the United States. And that is a distinction of our country, is that we are always in pursuit of something better than what we have right now. And we will never fully attain it. We always need to be making that kind of progress. Really excited to have Deroy Murdock join the show again. As always, on Wednesday, Deroy Murdock is a Fox News contributor. He writes some really great stuff, and he joins us right now. Deroy, hope you're doing well. Great to have you back.
Annie, great to talk to you.
So I'm looking at this article that you wrote on Fox News, and it says George Floyd unrest fuels white self-doubt. And I have to ask you, I'm a white person myself. You are a black man yourself. What are you talking about when you say white self-doubt?
Yeah, one of the strangest aspects of the response to the awful, horrible, atrocious death of George Floyd is we've gone from very quickly a discussion about police brutality, excessive force, and putting an end to that and making sure that we reward good cops and punish bad cops. And now we're in a situation where I personally have white friends who are sitting there thinking, am I guilty of racism? How am I a racist? I feel terrible. A friend of mine almost seemed like he was in fetal position. I had to send him emailed him and said, listen, you didn't kill George Floyd. That was not your knee in his neck. You are not responsible for Jim Crow. You did not run a segregated restaurant. You didn't own any slaves. So stop beating yourself up so hard. I think it's perfectly fine for people to be introspective and try to be better people, but we seem to be in a moment where white folks feel as if they're not doing the right thing unless they're trashing themselves over their inner Klansmen or something like this, and it's led to these very strange episodes where you've seen white people kneeling in front of black people and apologizing for being white. There was in Bethesda, Maryland, in a parking lot of a library. It looked like about 1,000 or so white people sitting down on the ground with their hands up in the air, pledging, I'll always use my voice for reason, and I'll always make sure and treat my black friends like my white friends, which is a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that, but having to take a pledge in public just seems kind of odd. Then we had this other episode where people, a number of folks, white folks, lined up to wash the feet of two black parishioners, or two black parish priests, I should say, or preachers. And so you just have these ongoing sort of ceremonies of kind of Caucasian expiation of internal racism. There are certainly racists out there, but the idea that every white person is a racist and needs to go up to a black person and say, I'm sorry for being white, it takes this thing way, way, way beyond anywhere it should, into an area that seems to echo almost the Cultural Revolution of 1968 under Mao Zedong and the People's Republic of China. Very, very odd behavior. Deroy, these things that you're mentioning, these responses to this white guilt stuff that you're talking about with the kneeling and all of that, do you think that's in response to the quote unquote institutionalized or systemic racism topic that we're talking about? Because it doesn't seem to have an easy solution. So is this maybe what you see people saying, well, since I can't solve that, I'm going to do this? There's some of that. And some of it is people going through their own, as I say, self-doubt. Some of it is they may not feel it, but they feel they need to display it, because if they don't, they'll be attacked for not displaying it. So sort of a conformist mentality, if you will, or maybe it's fear of the group, fear of the mob, frankly. So that's part of it. But, I keep hearing about institutional racism, systematic racism, and I wonder if this is such a deeply institutionalized, systemically racist country, irretrievable racist country, how is it possible that we had not just one but two occasions where we elected a black president of the United States? People may have forgotten that Barack Obama was president of the United States, who was a black man elected not just once but twice. He was reelected president of the United States, and rather comfortably, running against white people. So if this is such a racist country, why didn't the white folks just say, all right, well, we're going to make sure the white guy gets in and keep the black guy out? And under Obama, we had our first black attorney general, Eric Holder. We had our second black attorney general, who was a black female, Loretta Lynch, who succeeded Holder. And under the previous administration, under George W. Bush, we had our first black Secretary of State, Colin Powell, followed by our first black female Secretary of State, Condoleezza Rice. And again, if this is such a bigoted country, why would we allow that? Why would such a racist, systematically racist country allow Lester Holt to be the anchor of the NBC Nightly News, to let Don Lemon have his show on CNN every night, to have all sorts of stars and athletes and business people and others who are famous and have succeeded, Oprah Winfrey being one, any baseball player you want to think of as other examples, other athletes, other movie stars, music stars. And their audiences are not just black people tuning in or watching, buying their records, going to their games, whatever. A lot of white people do this and revere these people. When Kobe Bryant died, we had a national cry-in for 3 days with a lot of white people crying that he and his daughter very tragically died in a helicopter crash out in California. If this was such a racist country, we would have said, a lot of white folks would say, one less black man, hooray. That didn't happen. So there's this whole effort to trash America as basically South Africa under apartheid with 4 time zones and atomic weapons. And I don't think we're that. I think we're a country where there are racist people. There always will be racist people. We have 330 million people here. So if we're 99% completely non-racist, we're still going to have about 3.3 million people who are racists. And that's about enough people to populate Connecticut, assuming we're only 1% racist. So we'll never get rid of this completely. But I certainly see a sense where people are trying to do the right thing. There's a lot of black success despite this notion that there's institutional racism. And by the way, the successful black people are not all Secretary of State or Attorney General. You've got people who are successful as professionals, people who go out their business, people who are teachers, people who are doctors, people who are nurses. They're not famous, you've never heard of them, but they're successful black people who are getting on with their lives, taking care of themselves, taking care of their loved ones, minding the law, not breaking the law, being good citizens, and they're prospering and succeeding in America. And there seems to be a real effort on the part of the left and Antifa, Black Lives Matter, et cetera, to pretend none of this is happening. And we're all, every black person in America is just, 2 minutes away from being lynched. And that's a complete distortion. It's a complete disconnect from what America is today in 2010 and what we have been for probably the last 50 years.
We're speaking with Deroy Murdock. He's a Fox News contributor, and he's with us each week here on the Annie Frey Show. I want to ask something that I've talked about this maybe a week or two ago, because I think it is so important when you write about white self-doubt, because my experience is now more than ever, common sense people all across the country are looking at the world we live in right now. And there is good in the hearts of the majority of people. They want to do something to help. Just like you were talking about your white friend who was in the near fetal position because they don't know what to do with themselves. Because I believe in Black Lives Matter as a sentence, because Black lives obviously do matter. I don't necessarily know if I believe in it as a hashtag. And when I'm looking right now at the Movement for Black Lives. It's a website. It's m4bl.org. And I'm looking at the platforms here. I'm looking at the purpose of what is being engaged in here. And I feel as though, which is very common in the ways of the far progressive left, and it's very Saul Alinsky-esque, is to capture words and verbiage and vocabulary and to use it to gain power. So the sentence Black Lives Matter, there's no human being who I ever want to associate with who would say that is a false sentence. I don't want to have anything to do with you if you don't think that Black Lives Matter. But it's said out loud in a political realm and into the faces of very well-intended white people who want to do everything they can to help their neighbor, regardless of their skin color. And it carries a lot of baggage when you put the hashtag in front of it or the political agenda to subsidize it. What do you say to people who want to say, of course, Black Lives Matter, and they don't even have to comment afterwards because all lives matter. They can leave the all lives matter part out of it because you don't need to say that in order to believe that Black lives do actually matter. There's a difference between the sentence and the hashtag.
Absolutely. Or put another way, there's a difference between Black Lives Matter, lowercase b, lowercase l, lowercase m, and Black Lives Matter, capital B, capital L, capital M. And you can believe the sentences you say and not buy into the capital B, L, M, Black Lives Matter agenda, which happens to include, generally speaking, bigger government, more federal intervention. I believe tied into the folks out in Seattle who are running CHOP, the Capitol Hill occupied protest, whatever it's called. Their agenda is that you should have black doctors and black nurses to take care of black patients. That sounds to me like hospital segregation. I thought we escaped all that after 1964, thanks to Dr. Martin Luther King and the Civil Rights Movement. So they're segregationist, unbelievably, in the year 2020. And so this is a lot of what the BLM agenda is: defunding the police, getting rid of the police, abolishing police departments. I mean, you can believe that Black Lives Matter without believing that we have to shut down police departments and turn them into, I guess, social work centers or maybe community centers or something of the kind. I mean, there are bad people out there, and somebody's got to keep them separated from the good people. And that's called the police. And we want them to do a good job and want to be proud of what they do and not embarrassed with people like police officer Derek Chauvin, the man who had the knee on fatally on George Floyd. People like that need to go to prison. But there are good cops, and most of them are, and they're the ones who keep us safe from people like, if you saw here in New York City a couple of days ago, some young thug was walking down the street. A 92-year-old lady was walking up the street in Manhattan or somewhere in New York City with a stroller, with a walker, I should say. And he very casually and very nonchalantly pushes her over. She falls down, bumps her head on a fire hydrant. Fortunately, she's alive, but she's obviously quite shook up. On the security camera, you see him turn around, see her on the ground, and he just keeps walking, as if he had thrown a gum wrapper on the ground. Turns out he has been arrested 103 times. 103 times this guy's already been arrested. People like that are total thugs, and we need the police to keep us safe from people like that. And if we get rid of the police, people like that, and I wish there were just one or two of them, there are hundreds of them, thousands of them, are going to have control of the streets and control of our cities and control of our society. And that will be a very, very, very sad and ugly day.
Deroy, before I let you go, I only have about a minute left here. When you speak in your article on Fox News, which we will share at 971talk.com/Annie, about white self-doubt, there are so many people listening right now. As I said, they're overflowing in their heart with emotion because they want to do the right thing, and they're scared if they step one way, it's going to be the wrong way. If they step the other way, it's going to be the wrong way. So they freeze. What's your advice to those people right now at this moment in time? What can they do to contribute to some sort of solution?
Well, that's a good question. I think the best thing that people who feel like they're in that situation should do is find some black charity to support. And I think the best answer overall with all these things is more education. I think school choice is a big part of it. If there is a school choice or charter school program or parochial school program in your area that helps young black kids, and you can volunteer for them, provide money to them, offer whatever resources you can, that's a very positive way to do something that will make a practical difference in the lives of black children who have needs and can be satisfied. And if that helps you get over your white guilt or makes you feel better or gives you a sense of peace and calm, tranquility, then do that, and some actual good will come out of that. That's much, much better than getting on your knee and apologizing over something over which nobody needs to apologize. As I say at the end of my piece, nobody ever asked to be born white. It's just something that happens.
Wow. Thank you so much, Deroy. It's great to speak with you. We'll talk to you again next Wednesday.
Very good, Annie. Thanks a lot. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Yeah, you too as well. Deroy Murdock, Fox News contributor. A very interesting perspective there from him. Glad that he joined us. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, let's see. Tim Jones is going to roll on in here, and I don't know what he's going to talk about. What's he going to talk about? Any predictions?
Who knows?
Probably Outlander. Nothing political.
Should we talk to him about the Trump rally?
Yeah.
Sure. I'm going to ask him if it's responsible for President Trump to hold a rally in Tulsa and assemble all those people. I'm skeptical if he thinks it's going to be okay. I'm wondering.
Yeah, he'll probably say it's a bad idea.
He's probably going.
He's probably there.
I will never forget one of the Trump rallies I was watching. It was the one in Missouri. It was the one, I can't remember, was it in Cape Girardeau or something like that? I'm sitting here, I'm watching this Trump rally, and I'm like, that's Tim Jones standing behind Donald Trump. What in the world is going on? So I text him, and I'm like, are you behind Donald Trump right now? And he's like, ha, 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 yes, I am. And he was really excited about it. I'm like, well, I see you on TV in your Trump hat. It's ridiculous. So we'll ask him about that when we come back, and some other things. Let's see if we can get him to say something good about Joe Biden. It's a challenge. We'll be back in a minute.
Wearing out things that nobody wears. You call my name, but I gotta make clear.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Hey guys, Glover here. If you are nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the DGS.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness 101 for many years, Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 3 times a week. Yes, 3 times every weekend. Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common-sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness 101, now 3 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
Slim 180 has helped me lose weight, and I know that it can help you lose weight as well. If you are serious about getting off those 10 pounds, 50 pounds, maybe 150 pounds, Slim 180 is there for you. Don't put it off any longer. Invest in yourself. You will be so very glad that you did. My husband and I did the medically supervised HCG rapid weight loss program, and we are so excited to have completed it and have lost the weight that we want to lose, and now we're maintaining it. It's a wonderful experience. I have, over the course of time, lost over 45 pounds with my Slim 180, and I know that you can do it too. You can have that same success. Call them. Ask them about what Annie and her husband did. You won't be disappointed. 888-754-6111. That's 888-754-6111. Call them. They have 6 locations available to you. You can learn more about them online and find out what works for you. You won't regret it, I promise. 888-754-6111. You can visit them online at myslim180.com.
If you've listened to 97.1 FM Talk, you've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple on the station for many years as the financial expert. Trust and results are the 2 biggest factors in an advisor, and this is why Doug is so successful. So listen to Safe Money Radio 7 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk. He can see you at the office with plenty of distancing, of course. He can do a virtual call. 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends at Window World. Congratulations to the guys. They have been ranked by J.D. Power and Associates best in customer satisfaction with a window and patio door retailer 5 of the last 7 years, have the highest rating possible with the Better Business Bureau, only one of 2 window replacement companies in the country that have the Good Housekeeping seal of approval. They have the lowest prices. They have the best possible terms. They have replacement windows that are just built like tanks. One of their little deals that they do, of course, they always bring it out to your home or place of business so you can see and feel the window. They encourage you to stand on them just to prove how great and durable that they are. They have the best guarantee and warranty in the business. If anything goes wrong, they replace it, no questions asked. Call them at 314-993-1800 or visit windowworld.com. 314-993-1800. windowworld.com.
Be advised, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to save 40 to 80% on a hot tub and swim spa this weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Gateway Convention Center, Collinsville. Be advised, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to save 40 to 80% on a hot tub and swim spa this weekend only, Friday through Sunday, Gateway Convention Center, Collinsville. 18-month interest-free financing. Our factories have demanded we sell 1,000 hot tubs and swim spas this weekend. Gateway Convention Center, Collinsville. Huge factory incentives, factory rebates this weekend only. Gateway Convention Center, Collinsville. We can remove your old hot tub. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Hot tub starting at $2,999. Gateway Convention Center, Collinsville. Free delivery of your new hot tub. Just relax and enjoy. Gateway Convention Center, Collinsville. Friday, noon to 8 p.m. Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Free admission, free parking, free delivery. Gateway Convention Center, Collinsville. Call 877-55-HOT-TUB or visit spablowout.com.
The latest local forecast and severe weather coverage you can count on from the name in St. Louis weather.
This is 97.1's Chief Meteorologist, Dave Murray.
On 97.1 FM Talk. Powered by Air Comfort Service.
Listen to the wind blow.
back to the Annie Frey Show. Just got done talking to Deroy Murdock. He's a Fox News contributor. He wrote an article called George Floyd Unrest Fuels White Self-Doubt. I highly recommend you go back on the podcast, the Annie Frey Show podcast, wherever you get podcasts, and listen to that. It was a very interesting conversation for sure. But now we shift into Tim Jones land. Speaker Tim Jones joins us.
Another great night for Donald Trump.
No collusion, no obstruction.
This is Armageddon.
You know, I brought you Outlander, brought to you by Arrowhead Building Supply.
Tim Jones, I have one episode of Outlander to watch. We have not watched the season 5 finale, and I feel as though I am like unintentionally putting it off so that it's not over. Don't tell me what happened.
So, first thing that occurs.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Hang up on him.
I'm impressed, Annie. You caught up. Yeah, and now I've been in the Outlander wilderness for several weeks now.
They call that Droughtlander.
The Droughtlander. I love it. So we finished that.
I'm a nerd. We
finished Peaky Blinders. We're all caught up on that. And now I'm watching Poldark, which is kind of the that's a guy's name. It's kind of the poor man's version of Downton Abbey. I mean, not that the series is bad, but he's kind of like he's the landed gentry, kind of southeast England after the Revolutionary War, and his family is in the mining business, so he gets back from the Revolutionary. It's called Poldark. Okay. Poldark. It's the family's last name. Poldark. You know, and they're an ancient family, southeast coast of England, mining. They do mining. And I guess in the 1780s, southeast England, things are kind of rough, right? You know, the crown just lost the war with those crazy colonists, and it was kind of a rough time around the globe, and trade is down, and mining's not so hot, and so it's basically the life and times of this young, dashing guy who's got to restart his whole family's history. You know, it's pretty fascinating. It's pretty fascinating. It's on it's a PBS deal, but we're watching it on Amazon Prime like everything else is on.
Does even Tim Jones need to go to a streaming service to get away from the news cycle? Do you like? I had to go to a different time zone, the land of the free down in Florida. For 3 days or 3 nights stay to get away from it. Do you ever reach max capacity with the news cycle?
Even I do, Annie, even though I feel like sometimes the steam is coming out of my head, because like every day with my full-time career at First Rule, we're a public affairs, government focused public policy operation. We have a lot going on with the campaign season, of course, this year. So like you, I am immersed in politics, public policy, government, and a lot of it is debate, some civil, some not so, if you're following my Twitter feed, the entire day. It is. I exhaust myself, Annie. I really do. And so by the end of the day, I got to go do something. I got to go down to my, I'm very blessed. I live in a great little community, got a little golf course right here. I go play little 9 holes with some buddies. Although they want to talk politics, of course, because they know what I do. And so then I'll come home and, I'll just like dive into whatever on Amazon Prime or Netflix. Or last week I was watching the Ulysses S. Grant miniseries on the History Channel. That was cool. But, Annie, it's amazing. And today I need a safe space because I'm triggered because they're tearing down my family's heritage. They're tearing down the Christopher Columbus statues. And you're thinking, well, Jones isn't Italian. Well, yeah, but Tuno is. And my grandpa Tuno, Federico Tuno, came to this country as a legal immigrant.
Federico Tuno is Italian?
Federico Tuno from L'Aquila, Italy, just north of Rome, up in the mountains. True story. This is a true story. My grandpa Tuno, they renamed him Fred at Ellis Island because the Irish and the English that were running Ellis, so they were like
Federico was too hard for the Americans to say.
So they changed it to Fred. So my grandpa Fred Tuno from Italy, right? He gets over here in the 1930s. My great grandpa Tuno had been over here a couple times back and forth in the late 1800s. So he brings back my grandpa and a couple of his brothers, huge Italian family, 11 brothers and sisters, right? So some of them got to come over. My grandpa ends up getting either drafted or he volunteered for the U.S. Army. Guess where they sent him? The Italian front, because he spoke Italian, right? So I've got this deep immigrant-based Italian-American heritage. I mean, and back in those days, the Italians were the downtrodden race, right? I mean, you think of all the, nowadays we throw around the terms Dago and so on and so forth. Like, oh, it's no big deal, haha. You hear it in jest, but back in the day, I can tell you those were extremely derogatory. Now Italian Americans, we're considered white people, right? And there's no protected class there any longer, right? So now it's okay to tear down the statues of Christopher Columbus, right? And the Italian Americans I know, I was just with a couple at lunch today. They are furious. They're incensed. And St. Louis has a huge, vibrant, active Italian American population. And there's a huge fundraiser every year called the Italian Open. It got canceled this year because of the COVID thingy. And so here we are. I wake up today to see that they're taking down the Christopher Columbus statue in Tower Grove Park in St. Louis. So I'm triggered and I need my safe space.
You're triggered. That's the funniest.
Oh,
man. Whew.
Tim, I can't believe
came to play today.
Yeah. I'm sorry to unload on you and all that. I've been saving that up all morning.
I know. I think I asked about Netflix. I love it. I'm laughing so hard I'm crying.
You know what I'm realizing, Tim? Everything that you talk about outside of politics is all like period piece stuff. It's either history.
He's from another time. That has to be it. That's the only answer.
Simpler time.
Obviously.
You know those stones? I won't admit
Where
this true
are they?
or not. There might be some in my backyard. I'm just saying.
All right, Ryan, take it away.
Well, I'm trying to come up with something that would be related to some sort of. You and I watch such different things.
Just ask him about Hulu.
We do. Trump rally. Ryan, you were talking about the Trump rally.
No, I'm not going to talk about the Trump rally with you. I want to ask you this because I follow you on Twitter.
Tulsa. Why not? I'm here. Why don't
you are?
I'm waiting.
You are?
No, I'm not.
Are you in favor? Are you in favor of reopening the economy or leaving it as it is?
Well, thanks for that softball. But no, I'm gonna give you some reasons. I'm gonna give you some. This is really fun. But I'm gonna give you some good
This
reasons.
is not a good time to be on the webcam. My makeup is starting to run right now. Woo! Tim,
Making
you're
her
great.
mascara run.
It's in my eye.
If you pull up, there was a great article yesterday. Wall Street Journal lead editorial afternoon. They published in the afternoon. This set the left on fire, Ryan and Annie. It was Mike Pence. I mean, I think Trump and Pence sat around and said, we're just going to gig the left today and we're going to gig them hard. Right. And so it was there is no coronavirus second wave, all caps. Right. Well,
Really?
that just made all the eggheads over at MSDNC and CNN and NBC, ABC, blah, 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 blah. They all just lit their hair on. Their hair just lit itself on fire when that headline came out. And they were like, oh, my God, here goes Mike Pence, this hillbilly from the heartland, this guy who believes in God and stuff, is telling us, Dr. Pence is going to tell us there's no second wave. If you actually read the editorial, which I encourage you all to do, you'll see what the heck Mike Pence is talking about and why. If you notice, what's the newest talking point from the left on COVID-19? Oh, we're back to COVID-19, by the way. After we had 2.5 weeks of unadulterated rioting and protest, shoulder to shoulder, all across the country, no social distancing, some mask wear, some not. That was apparently that protected you from coronavirus. That was the imaginary vaccine from coronavirus if you're protesting. Now that that's over, and we're getting back to things like political rallies because we have a general election in like less than 5 months. Those now are bad again. And the media is actually trying to lock people down again. It's laughable. So they're talking about cases, right? That's the new code word. Cases. Cases are on the rise. Cases are here. Cases are spiking. Here's what they're not talking about. The thing we should be concerned about. Is there an increase in hospitalizations or the death rate? And I can tell you on both of those metrics, they're down. I just tweeted today a graphic from the great folks at Strategis RP. They're a macroeconomic statistics company, right? Strategis RP. And if you go to my Twitter feed at Speaker Tim Jones, you'll see this really cool chart that shows current COVID hospitalizations in the U.S. Guess what the trend line is? Yep, that's right. Down. There's a peak on April 15th. And with the exception of a couple little bumps on the way down, the general trend of the graph of COVID hospitalizations in U.S. is on the decline. The peak was 59,000 in April.
Wow.
It's now down to 27,000, right? Less than half and continuing to the decline. Are there some hot spots? Yes, there were some delayed hot spots you're hearing about in Arizona and Texas. You know, the tragedy TV media, they run to all of those hot spots every day. They throw up their antenna and they freak out, right? But if you look at the country as a whole, holistically, hospitalizations are down and death rate is down to the point where, have you heard anybody talk about the coronavirus mortality rate in the last many months? No. You know why?
It's just cases are up. Yeah.
Yeah. It's approaching the flu virus. It's 0.4. And that's from the CDC, not from Tim Jones's head. So there you go.
I love it. Tim, you're just ablaze. I love it how you just come into and you just revive right in the middle of the show, right in the middle of the week, and it just gets us through the rest of this week, because this is a tough news cycle, like we were discussing before. This is kind of a tough news cycle for people to consume, and it's good to get some perspective, like you're saying.
Hey, and Andy, I want to give you some credit. You I always catch your Deroy Murdock segment right before mine, because number one, I listen to the majority of the show in the afternoons because I'm at my computer a lot and I got it on the background listening. But I love Deroy. And I want to give you some credit. You had Deroy before, like, everybody knew how cool Deroy was. Now I see the guy like on Fox News all the time and Fox Business. And I'll tell you, I loved that segment. And thank goodness for people like Deroy Murdock and Candace Owens and Colonel Alan West, and locally people like Gabe Pfeiffer, St. John the Philosopher you have on, and, you know, the Stacey Washingtons of the world and the Chris Arpses and all those folks, because thank goodness we have them, because they can push back on this narrative. And I'm seeing more and more, I don't know if they're Black conservatives or just Black normal people who are saying, stop believing that the Democratic Party is good for Black Americans. I've seen more and more viral videos of Black men and women on the streets of places like Seattle and the Chaz Chop Zone and all that stuff saying, they're saying Democrats are lying to you. The Republican Party is the party of freedom, liberty, and opportunity, which is why they've always been for Black Americans, even though we've lost our way over the last 50, 60 years, because people like Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson have convinced the Democratic Party that that's the only place that we can survive.
Well, I think it's just so important to understand, you know, white people don't think the same. Why in the world would Black people think the same? They're not a monolith. Women are not a monolith. Men are not a monolith. People who are in different income levels are not a monolith. We are individuals with individual perspectives and circumstances, and we think based on our own personal circumstances with the brains in our head, not based on what people tell us that we're supposed to think. And the more voices we can bring to the table, the better the conversation will be. Tim will be tuning in Sunday night, 7 to 9 p.m. right here on 97.1 for the Tim Jones Show, and listening in as always. We're always grateful to have you here. Thank you for the shot in the arm. We love it.
Annie, thanks for having me. Ryan, Katie, you're all doing a great job as always. Really appreciate being on. You guys have a good rest of the show.
Thank you so much, Tim. Good to talk to you. Man, that was so fun. I have to say,
Yes.
He's perfectly placed in the week.
He cracks me up.
Yes.
It's like stopping at the gas station in Missouri and getting the tank filled up so you can make it all the way into the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, hey, we've got a listener, a loyal listener of the show whose birthday is today. A friend of Craig Lombardi's. He says he listens every day, all 3 hours. His name is Eric Pruitt, and Craig Lombardi told me to tell him happy 50th birthday. I think that's what it was.
Happy birthday.
No, excuse me. It was 40th. Sorry about that.
Oh,
Eric Pruitt. Happy birthday to you. Thank you for listening to us, and to each and every one of you who are out there. I mean, I have to tell you that Katie and Ryan and I have been in this industry for a while, but we are students of it and we are learning every day. And truly, I'm going to speak for all three of us right now. We feel very very honored and privileged to be able to come and engage in this conversation. We feel like you are as important part of this conversation every day as any of us are. You are the most important part. So Eric, happy birthday to you. Thank you for listening. And if you got a friend who might enjoy a 3-hour conversation with us like you do, share the Annie Frey Show with them. You can do it on Facebook. You can do it on Twitter at Annie Frey Show, but Twitter is a cesspool. Don't send them there. Yes, Facebook. Be a part of the conversation. Be a part of the Annie Frey Show family. We are absolutely grateful for each and every one of you. We'll be back in just a minute.
I'm Evelyn, and I'm 4, and I love Mommy so, and I love Katie, and mine's Sylvie.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. If you need a new air conditioner, now is the time to buy, because Air Comfort Service will include an APCO X air purifier for free with the new air conditioner. For details, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. The housing market is really heating up and it's about to take off. Mortgage interest rates are sitting near all-time low levels, and that means you have a lot more buying power. Don't miss out on the home of your dreams by working with the Ron Mortgage Lender. We make the entire process easy and can get you in your new home in 14 days. Get pre-approved today with our 5-minute loan approval, only available at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
If you have noticed some areas in your home, since maybe you've been spending more time at home, that need to be improved or added onto or finished, maybe you've got unfinished places in your house, and boy, you would really like to have that basement finished so that you can spread out a little bit in your home. Lakeside Renovation and Design is the place to go. I posted on our Facebook page last night, on the Annie Frey Show Facebook page, there's this really funny video about what wives are like when you're doing home renovation products, and I got to say, it was a little too relatable. Don't go through that yourself. Call the experts. The experts are Lakeside Renovation and Design. You will be very glad you did, because their work is pristine and they understand the basics about doing home renovations inside and outside, where, you know, they do the simple things like showing up on time when they say that they're going to, or cleaning up each job site daily. They care about those details, and the finished product is going to absolutely wow you. Turn your house into a home with Lakeside Renovation and Design. You will not regret the call. They've been in business for 22 years. They offer a lifetime workmanship warranty on top of manufacturer's warranty. Do not delay any longer. LakesideRenovationandDesign.com.
Enjoy a more inspired drive in a new Mazda from all 3 Bomarito Mazda locations. We are here for you at Bomarito, and we'll work with you to find your perfect Mazda. Plus, every new Mazda has the Bomarito nationwide warranty, 10 years, 200,000 miles. Lease a 2020 Mazda CX-5 with 0 down for $319 per month, and Bomarito will make your first payment. It's at all 3 Bomarito Mazda locations.
Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm in St. Louis. I meet regularly with people who haven't filed tax returns in years. Did you know that if you have unfiled tax returns, you can be subject to jail time? That's right. The maximum penalty can be 1 year of jail time for every year of unfiled returns. So liens, wage garnishments, and bank levies should be the least of your worries if you have unfiled returns. Instead, you should get straight with the IRS and file those returns as soon as possible. This is true even if you can't pay what you owe. Call me today, Lance Story, a local tax resolution attorney who knows how to resolve your tax problems before they turn into a prison sentence. And don't worry about not having records or receipts. The Lance Story Law Firm can help you find the information you need to get the returns prepared and filed. As an attorney, I am trained to put pieces of your tax puzzle together for you. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. You need an attorney. You need us, the Lance Story Law Firm. Call us at 314-238-7360 or go to Lance, DRURYlaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
There's a big red barn where you say free. Norm's Bargain Barn. On discount windows, doors, and things. Norm's Bargain Barn.
Hi, I'm Norm Wilkie. Come see my new selection of Amish cabinetry made by my good Amish friends at Countrywood Products. We now stock 5 styles of cabinetry for you to choose from.
When you need to save on discount windows, doors, and cabinetry, come to Norm's Bargain Barn. With locations in Shiloh and Penton at the bottom of Gravois Bluffs. Visit normsbargainbarn.com.
That's normsbargainbarn.com.
With spending more time at home, you may be noticing the scuffs and faded colors on your walls, the cracked, peeling paint on the outside of your home. Protect your home investment with quality painting from your local CertaPro painters. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated by men and women who live in our community. They are ready to help you and are taking precautions recommended by public health officials. Get a remote or on-site estimate from them today. Start your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Proven and trusted experts in painting.
The Dave Glover Show.
Another thing I like to do is to take my Jazzercise to a restaurant, order a plate of food, and then pretend to eat it with my Jazzercise and just gung, 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 gung.
Weekdays at 3 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Today, we have Google going after the Federalist. Kind of interesting to me because, the Federalist was one of those few news publications with Molly Hemingway and Sean Davis and Margot Cleveland who were involved in exposing the whole Trump-Russia collusion hoax, and they get targeted by Google today. I think Americans are sick of this. I mean, this is a direct attack on speech. I think Americans are tired of this, the press going after certain people. If you don't have the right position or say the right thing. I mean, for goodness sake, if you now advocate standing for the national anthem, somehow that's a bad thing. If you go, we learned yesterday, if you go fishing with your boys and wear the wrong T-shirt, somehow that's bad. This is ridiculous. And Americans are so sick of this baloney. This may be a turning point today. What Google did to the Federalists, I think this is a turning point today.
That's Jim Jordan talking about the Federalist brush up with NBC, trying to get Google to pull some of their support from the Federalist website. We talked with John Davidson at 12:25. He's the political editor at the Federalist, and you can hear that. Is that, I don't know how quickly these things get up. Is that up on the website yet?
That is not up yet, but it will be shortly.
It will be. You can go by the end of the show, but you can always go to our podcast and hear all of those replays. You can hear the whole show if you subscribe to the Annie Frey Show podcast, but you can also hear it if you have listened to most of the show, but you missed that interview. Go back and pick that up on the Annie Frey Show podcast and hear what he had to say, because it was very interesting the way he explains how NBC was involved in this and what Google's involvement is. So we were talking about the Google world, and we were talking about how have you ever noticed, like, you start seeing ads for things somewhere on a website that you're visiting or in your Facebook feed, and it's something that you maybe remember discussing with somebody. Maybe you're talking with your spouse in the car and you're like, oh, you know what we really need? We really need a wheelbarrow. And then all of a sudden, like in the next 24 hours on Facebook, that you've got wheelbarrow ads, like those even exist and they're in your feed and you're like, okay, that's really, really freaky. So we asked you to suggest some things that we should, in our own personal lives, talk about and see if we can get some of these ads to actually show up. I will also say that I've read studies on this, and the studies suggest there are people who inadvertently, if you're thinking about buying something, you might inadvertently Google or read something that is akin to that ad that you end up showing up, and you just don't realize that you actually searched something like that maybe 2 weeks ago, and then you had the conversation. So it's actually more of a coincidental timing. So I don't know, we can completely test the narrative here and take some of your suggestions of completely ridiculous things that we would be talking about. I could go talk to my husband about later this evening with our phones in presence and see if we start seeing ads about it. So Ryan's been kind of cataloging some of these things that you guys have been suggesting. We pull these from the comments on our Facebook Live. If you go to facebook.com/Annie Frey Show, you can watch the show. And we have also been streaming this week on YouTube as well. If you type in Annie Frey, F-R-E-Y, in YouTube, you'll see my channel pop up, and you can watch us on your YouTube app on your smart TV. Or on your phone, wherever you go, you can project it to your TV as well. So comment along, and Ryan's going to tell us some of the things that people have suggested so far.
Yeah, so I'm going to say these, and the question is, are they going to just automatically show up in tens of thousands of people listening's Amazon carts, or do you have to say them yourself? that's kind of the question, right?
Like
So,
if you start talking about it, someone's going to hear it.
yeah, like is it going to hear us say it, or do you have to say it?
Please don't
Is it
say
that
anything
smart?
that's offensive.
Okay, we'll see. The first
This is
one,
a PG show. My kids are
purple
listening.
mojitos.
Purple mojitos.
Now I'm picking very, very strange ones because
Mm-hmm.
you know that if you say that now, if a purple mojito shows up in an ad, you know for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, that had to
Mhm.
happen. It wasn't just a random chance.
How would a mojito become purple?
I don't know.
I don't know either, but that's one of my favorite drinks, and David is really good at making
A
them.
purple one?
No, just a regular
Would you drink
mojito.
a purple one?
I would, yeah. Let's see what
Is
it's
a
about.
purple mojito an actual drink, or is that just saying somebody's
never
putting
heard of it.
purple color?
I've
Okay.
I'm
never
pretty
heard of
sure we're not going to get ads for things that don't exist.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
maybe we'll
It's
stick
gotta
with
be
things
real.
that might actually be real.
Well, then tell me if this one exists, because when I saw it, I thought, well, maybe that's a thing. Unstuffed pillows. Isn't that just
Wouldn't
a
that be a
pillowcase?
pillowcase?
I don't know. I think people are trying to come up with weird ones. So
And we
I'll
are
look it
really,
up.
really challenging this.
yeah, this one won't, I don't think, but it's a nice thought. A lifetime supply of beer. I don't think they're going to advertise for that. They might advertise
can
for beer.
hope.
How about a bobcat?
Okay.
By
Like an
which
animal or like
I think we're talking about the tractor,
Okay.
a bobcat.
I would
okay?
never look that up, so that'll be interesting if it
This
shows up.
here's a really good one because this isn't something that I don't think we talk about all the time, but there really would be ads for this. This is the last one.
that's
shoulder.
the point of this.
Yeah, shoulder holster.
A shoulder holster, like for
Yeah.
your gun.
Yep, for your gun.
I need to know from folks where I should. I want to get. I want a female version of, because I have a conceal and carry, and I'm looking for some body wear that I can have because I'm not going to wear it on my belt, and I want to be able to have whatever the contraption is to conceal and carry comfortably. So I'm looking for some female holsters of some sort. So if you have any suggestions, you should message the Facebook page of if you carry as a female. And I'm not opposed to like suggestions from men, but it's just a little bit different for a lady to carry. We wear our clothes differently. I know, I remember being in the conceal and carry class with keepcalmcarry.com. You should go check them out. And they're like, yeah, you just buy a pair of pants that are a size bigger. I ain't doing that. I'm working too hard to be in the 10s I'm in right now. So it's too difficult for me to wear. I'm not going to wear baggy pants so that I can carry. So, but women have a lot of different options. So if you have a suggestion, or if you know of a company that carries it, or if you're a business around here that is potentially, if you're a gun store, I would love to hear from you. So reach out to the Facebook page, message us, and tell me what you might have, because I think that would be, I would love to get some good advice from people who know what they're talking about, because I don't know what I'm talking about, at least as far as this is concerned. When we come back, we're going to speak with Orphy Devungi. He is the chief economist at Illinois Policy Institute, and see how Illinois is faring in COVID-19 recovery mode. Are we even in recovery mode? And then also Congressman Mike Bost in the state of Illinois, a U.S. congressman, is going to join us at 12:25. The Illinois GOP is suing the governor. Thank God. We'll talk to both of them when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, it's Michael Mohan with Community Mortgage. Home prices are up and interest rates are down. What that means to you is opportunity. If you are looking to take money out of your home to pay off high interest credit card debt, complete that overdue remodel, go from a 30-year to a 15-year loan, or drop the dreaded PMI, now is the perfect time to give me a call to find out what opportunity is right for you. We have no closing cost loans available and interest rates in the 3s. So whether you are buying or refinancing, give me a call at 314-336-6050. I'm here in St. Louis, and when you call, you'll talk to me, Michael Mohan at Community Mortgage. 314-336-6050. 314-336-6050. When you call me, you aren't getting a sales pitch, just straightforward information on how I can save you money on your next home loan. Online at communitymortgagestl.com. That's communitymortgagestl.com.
Community Mortgage LLC, NMLS 250353, 224143, APRs in the 3s.
Rudy Beck, Jay Lennox, and Associate Attorney Carolyn Diker are all offering free consultations to anybody who doesn't have estate planning done. Do you have all of your affairs in order? Do you even know where to start? Well, I will give you the phone number. This is where you go, 636-946-7899. You don't need to know anything other than that phone number to get yourself headed in the correct direction. The attorneys and staff at Beck & Lennox Estate Planning and Elder Law remain committed to serving you when you are in need of their services. Even at a kind of complicated time like this, they're taking appointments. You can meet with them. You can get your estate plan taken care of. You can figure out how to access that aid and attendance benefit for veterans and their spouses. So many things that Beck & Lennox can do for you. You can reach out to them right now to schedule that free consultation, 636-946-7899. Don't put it off any longer. You don't want to wait for something to cause this to be a pressing matter. You can take care of it right now, and you can get that free consultation, 636-946-7899, online at beckelderlaw.com.
What's your favorite four-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times with this social distancing, face mask wearing, staying at home world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our four-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. Hope that your retirement plans don't take a backseat. You've watched the market drop and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments and find out how you may be able to save big on taxes while the market is down. Find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call the team today to set up a meeting, 314-373-1598, Compass Retirement Solutions, 314-373-1598. And for more on retirement planning, listen to Rethinking Retirement, Saturdays at 8 and 4 and Sundays at 11. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois.
KFTK FM Florissant, K254CR St. Louis, driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk, a radio.com station.
It's called the Justice Act. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News, the Senate Republican version of police reform.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is planning to test Democrats by putting it on the floor for consideration next week.
We're serious about making a law here. This is not about trying to create partisan differences. This is about coming together and getting an outcome.
There are some big areas of difference from what House Democrats are proposing. One example is Democrats would overhaul qualified immunity, protecting police from lawsuits.
Fox's Mike Emanuel on Capitol Hill. California Congresswoman Karen Bass helped write the House Democrats version.
The tens of thousands of people that are out protesting in 50 states across the union and many countries around the world are looking for very specific reforms, not dealing with this issue in a superficial manner.
Both bills could be up for votes next week. Prosecutors in Atlanta set to announce a decision on possible charges against the officers involved in the death of Rayshard Brooks, who was shot while running with an officer's taser after resisting arrest Friday night. An attorney for one of the officers just out with a statement saying they used the least amount of force possible until they were assaulted and using a taser was ineffective. Changes are coming at the grocery store, with one familiar brand being retired.
After more than 130 years, Aunt Jemima is being removed from packaging for syrup and pancake mix, according to Quaker Oats, part of its effort to make progress toward racial equality. The company acknowledging the brand and logo featuring a black woman have origins based on a racial stereotype. And while the image has been updated over time, it realizes the changes weren't sufficient. The Aunt Jemima character inspired by a black storyteller and cook named Nancy Green, according to the food company's website.
Fox's Lillian Wu and the maker of Uncle Ben's Rice announcing they plan to evolve. America is listening to Fox News.
I'm giving Jeb's basement renovations 1 star. He kept asking me what's behind the walls down there. I'm like, why? What do you know?
No matter how hard you work for your small business, online reviewers will find something to complain about.
And then he's like, you can trust me with the job. And I'm all like, trust?
And while Progressive can't save you from these trolls, we can help you save money on commercial auto and business insurance.
Yeah, he charged me less than he said he would, which is lying.
Get a quote online today at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliated and third-party insurers.
Hey, if you're looking to cut costs and free up some cash on a monthly basis, start today with Pure Talk USA. Now, the average family of 4 is saving over $800 a year on cell phone service by switching to Pure Talk USA. Now, every plan includes unlimited talk and text. And by the way, it just starts at $20. So switch to Pure Talk today. Just dial pound 250 keyword Pure Radio. Pure Talk USA, simply smarter wireless. you'll have the option to receive a one-time auto-dial text from Pure Talk USA.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
All about sunshine once again across the St. Louis area this afternoon. We'll try to edge it up to about 89 degrees. Tonight, clear skies. Drop it back to 65 degrees. On Thursday, still sunshine, partly to mostly sunny skies. I think the humidity comes up a little bit, 92 degrees. Friday, partly sunny skies, just a slight chance of a spot thunderstorm and quite humid. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It's open enrollment season, and MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google MediShare and see if it's a right fit for you. And check out the podcast from the Associated Press, Ground Game, hosted by AP's digital editor, Megan Crane.
It's the 20th anniversary of 97.1, and we're celebrating 20 years of great Dave Glover Show moments with Michael's Flooring Outlet.
I got my eBay toilet paper in today.
How's the paper, though?
It's good.
How's the product?
It's like
good stock.
Yeah, all right.
Was it in the original packaging?
It is. Oh, God, yes.
Well, I know there was a used option, so.
From whom did you buy it, Dave? Was it like a person or a,
or an alien?
Sometimes
I don't know how to answer that, Sue.
Sometimes they have like, little businesses on eBay. Somebody who does
Still
it
a
all
person,
the time.
though, Sue.
Or maybe it was somebody who bought too much and
He
said,
bought
"All
it
right,
from a goblin named the Toilet Paper King.
Well, all right, fine.
TGS 20.
Listen. Mike of Michael's Flooring Outlet. Proud to be Dave's first live endorsement and being part of so many sweet memories for the past 20 years. Thank you again, St. Louis and the Dave Glover Show. 97.1. Rock on. Check me out. IGotFloored.com.
Last week, my husband and I decided to unplug everything here at home and drive to Florida. And it would not have been possible without the Chrysler Pacifica that we purchased from Cassens. And I have to tell you that when we bought the Pacifica, initially we were thinking we might buy a full-size SUV. The Pacifica became a lot more affordable than the vehicles we were looking at, the full-size SUVs. And oh my gosh, we were getting 28 miles to the gallon. It was so affordable for us to take that Pacifica to Florida and back. We were really stunned. We actually looked at each other multiple times and were like, this is amazing. We love this vehicle. For a limited time, you can get the 2020 Chrysler Pacifica employee pricing. This is over $7,000 below MSRP. I wonder if I can go back and get that. Not to call the people there. 2020 Jeep Gladiator Overland 4x4, over $5,000 below MSRP. And the Dodge Power Dollars 2020 Challenger SRT Hellcat Red Eye, almost $8,000 cash allowance. These are ridiculous deals, people. You need to go to CassensCan.com. It's the website where you can see all of the wonderful things at Cassens. And you know what? I go to Cassens. I've bought multiple vehicles there because they do business right. They're family owned and operated. They have been, and they are going to take care of you. I promise you. Also, if you're concerned about the coronavirus that is out there, they have taken so many precautions. They will customize their service to you to make sure that you're comfortable. Go visit them online at CassensCan.com.
Hey guys, this is Rachel from my good friends at Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. Most warranty companies will sign you up and then hope that you never contact them again. Or when you do, they deny your claim for lack of maintenance. You don't have to worry about that with Upkeep. At Upkeep, you deal with one home manager. That is your point person who is going to take care of everything for you. Upkeep comes out and will maintain your appliances and equipment 4 times a year. You know exactly who's going to show up because they don't contract out their work. And when they come in, they're not trying to upsell you. Let's face it, you probably already have a service plan or maintenance plan for your HVAC or equipment, but now you can have all of that plus your equipment covered for about the same cost. And the best part is now you have the peace of mind knowing that your equipment is taken care of and you're saving tons of money on your utilities. Log on to upkeepstl.com, check out everything they do, and mention the DGS and get $100 off the program. That website is upkeepstl.com.
Take 97.1 FM Talk with you on the radio.com app. Available on your smartphone in the App Store. Take us with you and never miss the news and opinion from 97.1. Download the radio.com app today and stream us anytime, anywhere. The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
You need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rip my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Happy Wednesday. Great to be with you. I am very glad that you've decided to join us on a Wednesday afternoon. There's so much going on right now. We've had the president speaking regarding some mental health. I guess, what was he doing? He was talking about like helping veterans with mental health concerns.
Mm-hmm.
And then Joe Biden followed up. And Katie, he was not nearly as enthusiastic as Tim Jones was at 125.
Oh gosh, Sleepy Joe to the maximum degree. Or maybe he was just trying to set a tone, but either way, I'm like, yikes, man, snooze fest.
So both president and presidential challenger have been speaking in the last hour, and that almost feels like the way this time is supposed to be because it's a campaign season. This is an election year, a presidential election year. So seeing them talking it's interesting to me because the news has been so fast paced and full of other important news stories to be discussing that we haven't seen a lot of that, but that happened today. So I'm noting that it happened, but there's nothing that was said right now that I think is so pressing that we're going to interrupt our regular schedule and bring it to you because we have a guest right now. Illinois Policy Institute's chief economist, Orphy Devungi, is with us right now. You can learn more about Illinois policy online at illinoispolicy.org or join their activist group on Facebook, the Lincoln Lobby. Orphy, great to have you back on the show. Good to talk to you.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I hope everything is well for you up in the Chicagoland area, correct? That's kind of where you're located?
That's right. Although I left the city of Chicago and ran away to the suburbs recently.
I understand. I want to talk to you a little bit about home ownership in the state of Illinois. Certainly, as we reel in from COVID-19 and the job loss and the furlough and everything that we've had to endure for the last few months, homeowners in the state of Illinois are suffering even more than potentially they would have outside of this pandemic.
Oh, absolutely. We had the longest economic expansion in recorded history, and yet home prices in Illinois did not grow very much. And there are two things here. So when your home equity grows, you're essentially more wealthy. You're wealthier, and so for most Americans, for most Illinoisans, the value of your home is kind of the bulk of your assets. It's your wealth. And so when your home equity starts to decrease, and at the same time you find yourself unemployed, right, without a job, chances are you're going to start falling behind in your mortgage payments. And that's what we looked at, and we basically forecasted the mortgage delinquency rate could jump up to about 9%, which is slightly below the Great Recession levels, which, at that time you had a serious housing crisis. And that basically adds up to roughly 130,000 households. So that's really, really scary. It's also scary because when people feel wealthier, they tend to spend more. And so, if you see a lot of delinquencies and maybe even foreclosures, you can pretty much forget about an economic recovery.
Orphy, it's amazing to me. I'm looking at some of this information, this data on that subject. Why is Illinois uniquely affected by this? I mean, COVID-19, coronavirus has affected the whole world, the whole country, but it seems that Illinois is more than all the other 49 states at risk of this issue more than others.
So it's more, I want to clarify here, mostly the region, right? So, we didn't go into all the states. We definitely looked at the region. Illinois has the largest number of underwater homes in the Midwest. That's interesting. And the reason why there's so many Illinois homeowners are underwater is, we have had very sluggish home equity growth But on top of that, we face the second highest property taxes in the country, which of course, make it very difficult to keep up with your monthly housing costs.
Or if you want to ask you about that, the property taxes here, I'm looking at the statistic. Illinoisans pay $4,900, almost $5,000 in property taxes on a $203,000 home. So you're paying $5,000 in taxes a year on a little bit above $200,000 house. Every year you have that financial obligation. It's the second highest rate in the entire country. How did Illinois get to the point where that those property taxes are so high? Why is it necessary for those property taxes to be astronomical?
Yeah, that's a very, very good question. What we learned actually is that in the last 20 years or so, a lot of our property tax dollars, instead of going to classrooms and to things that we care about, like our police and fire, patrolling our neighborhoods, our property tax dollars have been going to pensions, right? So in some counties, the property taxes that we're paying, 95, 96% of the property tax payments actually go to pay for police and fire pensions instead of going to actually hiring new police officers to patrol the area or firefighters to come to the rescue if your house goes up in flames. And so a lot of our property taxes have kind of been going down this pension hole that the state and localities have found themselves in, and which is why we have been advocating strongly for pension reform at all levels in the state of Illinois.
Orphy Devungi on the phone with us from Illinois Policy. Orphy, what about, I've seen some grassroots kind of discussion, especially down here, probably not as close to Chicago, but maybe, about starting to address the property tax issues, at least on a county level. Is there any discussion of that at the state level?
No, so property taxes are collected at the local level, and so the one thing we need though is pension reform. What we need is lawmakers to say, let's put pension reform on the ballot. What do we mean by pension reform? We mean actually tying cost of living adjustments to the real cost of living adjustments. You're in the middle of a downturn. There's no real increases in the cost of living. We haven't seen inflation, strong, robust inflation, high inflation in a long time. So it's kind of mind-boggling that state and local government employees should expect to get raises every year when everybody else is not getting a raise. And so this is the kind of reform, common sense reform that we've been advocating for. And ultimately, the governor and lawmakers in Springfield have kind of missed that window of opportunity this year to put pension reform on the ballot, which could have reduced property tax payments for a lot of families, improved the delivery of services across the state. I still can't get my head around how the state could contribute to see an increase in pension payments, pension costs, and contribute to pensions by 500% in the last 2 decades. And only increase education spending by 21%, and actually cut spending on programs and things that actually help low-income families, like maybe even college aid, and things of that nature, right? So you got missed priorities. The state is prioritizing the pensions of retired state employees, whereas they should be caring about people who are out there, essential workers, people that have been deemed non-essential that have lost their jobs. We don't have a rainy day fund in Illinois today to help families that are struggling in the middle of this pandemic because of pensions. We don't have the adequate delivery of services in local areas because of pensions, and so on and so on. And today, all these people are unemployed, low growth in home equity just means that so many more people could find themselves behind on their housing payments, on their mortgage payments. Recent study just came out that actually showed that of Americans in general, 30% of Americans have fallen behind on their mortgage payments, on their housing payments in the month of June. So it's outrageous. There's so much pain out there. And the state of Illinois is failing. Government in Illinois is failing to address these problems and to help families that have been working so hard and paying their taxes all these years.
Or if I want to ask you one more question before we go, not necessarily about property taxes and homeownership, but about taxes in general in the state of Illinois. We are being asked by the governor and this Democrat supermajority in Springfield to vote yes on the fair tax, which will be on the ballot in November. And the way it's being pitched to Illinois voters, Illinois taxpayers, is that this is going to be a way to help those underprivileged people that you're talking about there, the people who have a smaller income. That's going to be the sell that is going to come out of this. Pritzker really, really wants that progressive income tax, also known as the fair tax. He wants a yes vote in November. I stress we need to vote no, but you're the chief economist at the Illinois Policy Institute. Those underprivileged people, the lower income voters and taxpayers in the state of Illinois, how does the progressive income tax, the fair tax that's on the ballot in November, help those people who have a lower income?
Yes, it's really, really unfortunate that during this whole debacle in Springfield, when they basically said, we're going to put together, if you vote yes on the fair tax going on the ballot, we're going to put together a task force to lower your property taxes. We did the math. The truth is, low-income families, will get maybe, if they're lucky, a $6 tax cut. All right. When you account for the fact that there's no pension reform and that property taxes have to continue to increase, at the local level, families in Illinois that are supposedly in that bracket to get a tax cut will maybe see a $6 tax cut on net. I mean, this is ridiculous, right? So this kind of slogan, right, taxing the rich more to help the poor is nonsense. It's just rhetoric, political rhetoric to push an agenda that actually will hurt the state's economy, because over 100,000 small businesses that we rely on for roughly 60% of all new job creation every single year will be facing a tax hike. So how do we recover? How do we come out of this hole we're in right now if we're actually planning to tax all of these small businesses that create most of our jobs in Illinois? I get really upset when I hear this stuff because it's just nonsense. They're lying to Illinoisans. And I'm glad that you're speaking out against it on your show because somebody has to tell the truth, and the truth is nobody's getting a tax cut. They're trying to raise over $3.4 billion in additional tax revenue, and now that COVID-19 happened, we're looking at even more money, bigger and bigger deficits that the state is going to try to fill by raising taxes on everybody. If this thing gets passed in November.
So a $6 tax benefit for the lowest income people. I would assume that if you're middle class, middle income, it's not going to be looking pretty for you.
No, absolutely not, because you still fall in that in that bracket that they say, hey, you're going to get a tax cut, but that's just nonsense, right? What good is a small tax cut at the state on my state taxes if I have a tax increase? A huge tax increase every year on my, on my local taxes, because my local taxes are going to finance pensions in the first place. It's just nonsense, right? If he was really serious about providing relief, he would attack the largest source of pain in Illinois, which is property taxes increases at a record high pace every single year, right? Let's fix the property tax problem by putting pension reform on the ballot. Instead of playing around with the income tax and giving people a tiny little tax cut that provides absolutely no relief. It's the price of a Big Mac at McDonald's. It's a big joke.
Yeah, it certainly is, and I'm glad that you're here to lay it out with the facts for us. Orphe, thanks for talking with us. We look forward to your updates and talking with Illinois Policy each week. We hope you have a good one.
Thank you. You too.
Yep. Talk to you soon. Join the Lincoln Lobby on Facebook. That's a great group to be involved in. Along with Illinois Rising, type in Illinois Rising and join that Facebook group. We are over 6,600 people right now.
Dang.
That's crazy.
Wow.
6,600 people. And I will say this for the many of you who are listening right now who are part of that group. It's called Illinois Rising. It's a group focused on reclaiming the state of Illinois with some common sense and fiscal responsibility. There are a million issues going on in the world. We are keeping this group dedicated and focused on that purpose. That doesn't, because people will post things about, well, I think I saw that the Rayshard Brooks charges are supposed to come out here any minute now. That's certainly a big topic of conversation right now, along with George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery and the executive order that the president signed yesterday. There's a national election going on. These are all very important issues to discuss, and we do discuss them on the show every day. But the Facebook group Illinois Rising is supposed to be a place where we focus on that particular issue, which is getting Illinois back in the hands of some responsible people. And so we keep the rest of the stuff out of there. Doesn't mean that I disagree with the stuff that gets removed. It doesn't mean that it's not important. But I'm a member of some other Facebook groups, and man, it gets nasty real fast. Like, if you want to criticize the governor, stick to the policies, the things he says. There is plenty of subject matter there that you don't need to go into ad hominem attacks. And we're going to try to keep it real clean and real focused on the Illinois Rising Facebook group to make sure that the people who signed up to be a part of it get the information that they expect to get from something like that. And we have people who are organizing petition signings. We have people who are organizing campaign support on the Illinois Rising group. It's been an amazing thing to see. So if you don't mind and you want to support Illinois' responsibility going into the future, just go join the group. We'd love to have you. Let's take a quick break. We can get to some phone calls when we come back if you want. 314-241, I forgot the phone number, 241-9797. Let's try that again. 314-241-9797. At the radio station, I have it right in front of my face and I read it over and over and over again. I need to put it in front of my screen right now. And go subscribe to us on YouTube.
Just mash your palm into the keypad and hope for the best.
Or that. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back in just a minute.
Sitting back in a 40 on the muddy riverside, getting baptized in holy water and shine with the dogs running.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Georgia, but he didn't stick around. This is God's country.
Tony La Russa here. Has your loss of energy and weight gain thrown you a curveball in your relationship? If so, go see my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Discreet, first-class professionals will help you hit those curves out of the park. VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
Mark Cox here, inviting you to join me, Annie Frey, Dave Glover, and Thomas Helbig for the Protecting Your Retirement educational event Thursday, June 25th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Call 855-755-1555 now to reserve a seat.
Did you know if you're 59 and a half or older or recently furloughed, you can now roll over your 401k tax-free and protect your nest egg from any future losses? With all the recent market volatility, you know how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, you don't want to miss the special event. We're taking all precautions and following the CDC guidelines to keep everyone safe and healthy. We also have the biggest room to keep our social distancing. I look forward to seeing you on Thursday, the 25th at 6:30 p.m.
Protect your retirement nest egg and join the official financial advisor of my show, Thomas Helbig, along with me, Annie Frey, and Dave Glover at the Frontenac Hilton Thursday, June 25th at 6:30. Call 855-755-1555 or go online at retirementkey.com.
It's one thing to be stuck in your house due to COVID-19. It's another thing to be stuck with a house. We have good news for homeowners listening throughout St. Louis. Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis is still buying houses. More importantly, we offer sellers a completely virtual selling process that maintains social distancing standards. Sell your home now. Call Chris today and get a cash offer in just 7 minutes. Call 314-782-7000. Can't collect rent? Not a problem. We buy My Tenant Won't Pay Me the Rent houses as well as vacant houses. We buy houses as is and deal with any situation. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call Chris today and get your house sold. 314-782-7000. That's 314-782-7000. 314-782-7000.
This isn't our first flip.
And sure, some renovations can require a bit of compromise.
But there's no settling at Floor & Decor, where we always find the perfect floor at the perfect price.
That's because at Floor & Decor, they have the selection she needs to fulfill her vision.
And he gets in-stock products at budget-friendly prices, all in one trip.
Plus, we get the installation materials we need to get it done right.
And right on time.
It's a win-win. Now that's shopping like a pro.
Explore Floor & Decor in person or online at flooranddecor.com.
Hey guys, Glover here from my very good friends at ThrottleNet. So if you ever listen to one of these recorded ads, listen to this one. A company can expect 232 targeted cyber attacks per year that results in 30 breaches. 24% of businesses hit with malware took a week or more to regain access to their data. Many businesses just flat go under. They are targeting small towns. They are targeting dentist offices. They are targeting big businesses. They're targeting government. You're going to get hit. Let me tell you about ThrottleNet. ThrottleNet has saved their clients more than $2.6 million in ransom last year alone. And get this. ThrottleNet clients have never paid a dime in ransomware. Let me say that again. They've never paid a dime because they are protected. No contracts. Leave anytime you want. You have to check these guys out. You'll find them at throttlenet.com to protect your business, to protect everything you have. Go to throttlenet.com.
Need a break from the sound bites and the talking heads? Do you want information you can actually use? Information that'll change your life for the better? Then listen to the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Del will show you how to retire in 2 to 5 years. Your age doesn't matter. Turn off the pundits and turn on the passive income. Tune in to the Del Walmsley Radio Show.
Tune in to the Del Walmsley Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. Weeknights at 7 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Things are happening every day.
People need to stay informed. That's the most important thing.
For the latest on everything happening in your world now.
We're using the full power of government in response.
This is 97.1 FM Talk.
Feels like I'm standing in a timeless dream of light mist, of pale amber rose. Feels like I'm lost in a deep cloud of heavenly sand, touching, discovering you.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. I'm struggling on whether or not I should discuss a specific topic. You guys want to tell me yes or no?
If you want to, if go ahead and put it out there, and we'll decide.
And you can let me know if you're actually interested in this, because I'm gonna get some heat. No pun intended. But if I bring this up, and I want to know from you, genuinely speaking, if this is of interest to you. And if you say no, I'll just tweet the article that I was going to talk about, and then you can go to my Twitter and you can read the article yourself.
Okay.
The NBA is going to finish their season. They're going to resume and finish their season at Disney World.
What?
And Disney World and the NBA have agreed upon creating a bubble that the NBA is going to exist in at Disney. Do you want to know how that works?
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of do.
I do.
You do. So
it's so weird.
Mm-hmm.
It is so weird. So Disney haters, come at me, bro. This is a relevant story, and I'm coming at you from the USA Today report on this that took place yesterday afternoon. So basically, the NBA said that they would be willing to set up and play, but basketball, baseball, there's an element of social distancing that kind of exists in baseball in and of itself. It's outside. In almost every case. And B, you're not really in contact much. I mean, if you're a first baseman, yeah, you're in contact because you're standing that's a different scenario. Basketball is very physical. You're sweating on each other. It's disgusting. I was a basketball player myself through my senior year of high school. So resuming the NBA season is going to be different than any of the other instances of athletics that I think that you're going to, it's the most physical contact that you're going to have, person to person, spit, like, ugh, it's the gross part. So they decided that they would work with ESPN has a place called the ESPN Wide World of Sports at Disney World. Now, ESPN, here we go, is owned by Disney because they own everything.
Yes,
People who get frustrated with me about supporting Disney. I'm like, let's talk about the things Disney own because I'm pretty sure everybody's supporting Disney in one way or the other. So ESPN Wide World of Sports is at Disney World. They have a massive complex down there, and they're going to have 22 teams that are participating in this resumed season that's supposed to start July 30th. And they have created what they're calling an NBA bubble down there. So this is the report from USA Today. It says a needed caveat. The 22 participating teams will face serious adjustments for a resumed season beginning July 30th at the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex at the Disney World Resort outside of Orlando. They will have to follow strict safety protocols, including receiving multiple tests for COVID-19 and maintaining strict social distancing rules. The teams will likely experience rustiness since they have not played in a competitive game for just over 3 months. Players, coaches, and staff members will go for a month and a half before a limited number of family and guests can begin to visit on August 30th. So here's how the living arrangements go. So how do you take the 22 teams that are going to participate in this and stick them in Disney World and then tell them to social distance?
Right.
Because there are crazy people all over the country just clamoring to get to Disney World. Let's not talk about that. So as far as the living arrangements go, anybody who is going to be down there visiting Disney World is not going to be able to attend the games. And the NBA players and their guests are not going to be able to visit the parks. So they are actually going to separate the existence of the NBA at Disney World from everything else that is opening up in its modified capacity. So the NBA teams are going to stay at 3 different resorts, which is funny to me because the Grand Floridian is, of all of the resorts that are at Disney World, the Grand Floridian is like the one where you feel like you have to like dress up just to walk through the lobby or whatever. That is one of them. Another one is a place called the Yacht Club, which is it's considered a deluxe resort. And then there's another one called the Grand Destino Tower. It's actually a moderate resort, but they put people in these hotels based on their seed in the NBA. So like you got to the Yacht Club is the 3rd tier of those 3, according to this that's the 3rd tier teams are staying at the Yacht Club.
Wow.
Like this is the NBA.
I like
of course. So what they have done here is they have set up at each of these locations, they will not be mingling with the commoners. You would not be able to be staying in a room across the hall from LeBron James. That's not happening. Teams will be required to stay on Disney property, but in between practices and games, they'll have plenty of options to keep themselves entertained. Each hotel has a players-only lounge with NBA 2K. What's NBA 2K? Is that a game?
Yeah.
I think so,
It's the first thing listed. Is it that big of a deal?
Maybe.
TVs, arcade games, and ping pong tables. It has resort-style outdoor space that will be set up for pool access and card games. And the property has enough land for teams to go fishing, golfing, bowling, boating, bike riding, and running, and access to a couple other places. And it says the hotel has a 24-hour concierge service that includes movie screening, DJ sets, video games, tables, ping pong, and lawn games. And for those worried about their personal needs, because we're all worried about the NBA players' personal needs here, players can make appointments with selected barbers, manicurists, pedicurists, and hair braiders. There are also there's a virtual chaplain, yoga, meditation, and mental health services available.
Man, I think that is really cool.
So is the purpose of
really
doing
sweet.
this that A, it's in Florida and they know Florida is not going to close, and B, that they have this ESPN Wide World of Sports or whatever facility that would be isolated?
Only B. At Florida closing or being open, I don't think has anything to do with anything because it's ESPN. The only way they're going to make money on this right now is through the broadcast because the players are allowed to go to other games that they're not playing in. So the only spectators
will be the other players.
I don't know enough about the NBA, but the only spectators are going to be players from other teams. And then maybe like your mom and your wife and your 2 kids or something like that. And the teams, I think there are 18 courts all together. So there could be games playing. I mean, you're going to hear sneakers squeaking on the floor.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of weird.
I think it's going to be awkward. I think it's going to be awkward, but hey, I mean, like, what a weird, innovative way to try to get a season going.
Don't you think it would be cool if they did it the way the XFL did games and they mic'd people up? I mean,
You're going to be able to hear everything.
There'd be risks involved in that, but wouldn't it be cool to be able to turn this into an almost like documentary style experience? Like, you could create a lot of content around that. I would love it if St. Louis had an NBA team. I would be a supporter because I was a basketball player through my senior of high school. I probably could have played junior college basketball, but I didn't see the point in that for me going past high school. I love basketball. I still love to play basketball. I would love to cheer on a St. Louis team in the NBA, but I can't get into it without having a team.
Yeah, it seems like to me and this is probably naive, but it seems like the players may have a little bit of a tougher time getting as intense and into it as you would. I mean, you feed off the crowd, don't you?
Yeah, but there could be moments of clarity though. I heard this with like UFC right now with a lot of people or like MMA. They do say that, you know, the crowd and everything amplifies their energy, but since the crowd isn't there, there's a less of a distraction. So they're honing in on these different types of skills that normally they wouldn't pay attention to get them perfectly correct. And now they're like, oh, okay, I can actually master these different types of skills.
I also think that, you know, these guys have been playing pickup games their whole lives, and that's a lot of what gets you to the point where you are an NBA player, is that you're never not ready to play a basketball game. If you got somebody who wants to defend you, then you can play one-on-one. You can, you know, I think that the crowd element is a significant factor. I think about baseball games, like when Adam Wainwright throws the curveball to make some top tier hitter look a fool in the batter's box and the crowd goes wild. That is electrifying. It gives me goosebumps thinking about it. Or a home run, a well-timed home run, any home run, but a well-timed home run. The crowd roaring is part of the excitement. But the opportunity that exists now around any of these sports to exist in a time where all people want is to watch a game. Like if I can, I'll pick an NBA team and start cheering. I'll probably cheer for the Bulls because I was alive and cheering for basketball during the 90s. And how could I not? But someone's going to message me now and tell me why I shouldn't cheer for the Bulls. I'm up for grabs. Somebody bribe me with something and I'll cheer for your team.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think that there is an opportunity, like the absence of what we know creates the opportunity for something else to come in that I think is really interesting.
Isn't it strange throughout this whole process, as we keep talking about Major League Baseball having these terrible negotiations? We haven't heard a thing about the NBA or the NHL. It's like they just decided, okay, here's how we're going to do it. And everybody fell in line. It was fine.
Or they're keeping their business to themselves.
Or they're doing that. Yeah.
And, you know, the NBA, I think that we would probably hear a little bit more about that. The St. Louis Cardinals and the St. Louis Blues certainly are the main product in St. Louis. So we're going to be keyed in on that. But Ryan, a commenter on our Facebook Live right now, says, I've been to that Disney ESPN complex. It's a pretty cool place. I've heard that from a lot of people. I've never visited myself. But I'll tell you this. I will be in Disney World at the end of July and August. So I'm just going to be like walking around looking for athletes that I'm not allowed to go talk to. My husband told me that the staff, not the players necessarily, I think the players can opt out of it, but the staff there, they all are required to maintain social distance, because if any of them get infected with COVID-19, it could take down the entire operation, which is why everybody's going to be tested all the time, temperature checked all the time. That some of the staff is going to have to wear a device that's going to like notify them if they come within 6 feet of a person.
Oh, wow.
Even the people
Like a
doing their hair and
pager.
nails, like we talked about doing. I wonder how they're going to do that.
Probably not them. Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how it works. So yeah, the NBA going to the ESPN Wide World of Sports in Orlando. Something interesting to check out. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back in just a minute. Don't go anywhere.
Everywhere I will be with you, everything I will do for you. I love you always, forever, near and far, closer together. Everywhere I will be with you, everything I will do for you.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show.
The most unbelievable blue.
Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
You've got me almost melting away.
You are listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Working more from home, so is your HVAC system. If your system needs service, Air Comfort Service will promptly and safely be there for you. Visit aircomfortservice.com. The Vitae Foundation, online at vitaefoundation.org, is a mission that I want to invite you to be on with me. The Vitae Foundation cannot lose its hard-fought grip on the digital spaces in which its campaigns are run. Pregnancy help centers rely on Vitae services to gain clients. And without Vitae's ads, just like this one, women are potentially sent to Planned Parenthood and other abortion providers because Vitae wasn't there. So without Vitae, women would have a difficult time finding the life-saving help pregnancy centers that they offer. Here's what I want to ask you to do. Just consider this with me. $5 a month would touch the lives of 60 women a year by connecting them with life-affirming local resources where there is help, compassion, and hope. Your $5 a month truly saves lives. But folks, if you don't have $5 a month, do you just have $5 right now that you could give to Vitae Foundation to help save lives and support these women in these difficult decisions, this difficult moment in their life? We need to support both of them, folks. And I'm so glad to be partnering with Vitae Foundation to stretch this reach that we can have here on the Annie Frey Show. Please join me. I would be so grateful if you did. Learn more online at vitaefoundation.org.
Imagine two identical homes on the same street that sold in the same week for $400,000. One seller used a realtor who charged 7%. The other listed with Straight Realty for only 4%, saving $12,000. Hi, my name is Christina Straight with Straight Realty. Don't be fooled by high commissions. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. 314-441 all fours.
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Hi, this is Lance Drury. If you have payroll tax problems, you have serious legal problems, you need an attorney. Call 314-260-6120 or toll free 888-367-6512 or visit Lance, DRURYlaw.com.
Hey guys, Glover here from my friends at ARCA, Assisted Recovery Centers of America. So alcohol and opioid addiction is a huge problem in America, as you know. And with the coronavirus, it's become even worse. Just know that there is help right here in our community. Call ARCA at 314-645-6840 or visit arcamidwest.com. Everything is professional, everything is compassionate, and everything is private. That's arcamidwest.com for help.
If you're like me, you've been spending a lot of time at home. You may be noticing the scuffs and faded colors on your walls, the cracked, peeling paint on the outside of your home. Protect your home investment with quality painting from CertaPro Painters. They make your experience worry-free, starting with a free on-site or remote estimate. It's your choice. I did one from the comfort of my own home. It's quick, safe, and easy. You can trust them to get the job done right. Schedule your free estimate today at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with the C.
Hey guys, this is Rachel from my good friends at Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. Most warranty companies will sign you up and then hope that you never contact them again. Or when you do, they deny your claim for lack of maintenance. You don't have to worry about that with Upkeep. At Upkeep, you deal with one home manager. That is your point person who is going to take care of everything for you. Upkeep comes out and will maintain your appliances and equipment 4 times a year. You know exactly who's going to show up because they don't contract out their work. And when they come in, they're not trying to upsell you. Let's face it, you probably already have a service plan or maintenance plan for your HVAC or equipment, but now you can have all of that plus your equipment covered for about the same cost. And the best part is now you have the peace of mind knowing that your equipment is taken care of and you're saving tons of money on your utilities. Log on to upkeepstl.com, check out everything they do, and mention the DGS and get $100 off the program. That website is upkeepstl.com.
I'm Eric Robert with Stifel. The economy is always changing, but what does it mean for your investments? Join me and fellow Stifel financial advisor Bob Stockdale during On the Money, Saturday mornings from 11 until noon on 97.1 FM Talk. Stifel, member NYSE and SIPC.
The Mark Cox Morning Show.
Missouri Governor Mike Parson.
I finally just says, the heck with all these COVID models out there on the national level. We're going to build a home in Missouri. When we did that, that was the turning point of how we turned the corner on the virus.
Weekday mornings 5 to 9.
Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now. The Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now. The Funk Soul Brother. Right about now. The Funk Soul Brother. Right about now. About now. About now. About now.
All right, welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. I want to tune in here real quick as we are watching the Rayshard Brooks, the charges coming potentially in on the police officer involved in this case. Paul Howard Jr., who's the Fulton County, Georgia District Attorney, is speaking. Katie, let's listen in and see what kind of news is happening now.
It's said to us that is within a matter of days, he plans to make a statement regarding the culpability of Officer Roth, but he indicated that he is not psychologically willing to give that statement today. Officer Brosnan, however, has admitted that he was in fact standing on Mr. Brooks's body immediately after the shooting. So these are the charges that we have had filed today, signed by one of our Superior Court judges. These are the 11 charges against Officer Roth. The first charge is felony murder. This is the death that is as a result of a underlying felony. And in this case, the underlying felony is aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And the possible sentences for a felony murder conviction would be life without parole, or the death penalty. Now, he's also charged in the arrest warrant with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And this is a count charging him for the shooting of Mr. Brooks. And the possible sentence for aggravated assault is 1 to 20 years. The third aggravated assault account is for the shooting towards or in the direction of Mr. Melvin Evans. Mr. Evans was the person who was seated in the car. Did we have the picture of it? Oh. And if you would point out, this automobile is the place that Mr. Evans and his two companions were driving, and a shot was fired. And I believe we've also got a photo of the shot that ended up in the vehicle. I think you got to stand it up. And so with count 4 against Miss Officer Roth, it charges him with aggravated assault for firing the weapon in or in the direction of Danielle Killians, who was in the passenger side of the front seat of the car. Next slide. Count 5 is an aggravated assault charge. And this was a charge for shooting towards or in the direction of Michael Perkins. Mr. Perkins was seated in the rear of this same vehicle at that time. There's a charge for criminal damage for shooting into that vehicle. Also, Officer Roth is charged with 7 violations of office. Each one of those carries a 1 to 5 sentence. These are violations of his oath of office for the city of Atlanta, arresting Mr. Brooks for the DUI without immediately informing him of the arrest, shooting a taser at Mr. Brooks while he was running away, which again is a violation of Atlanta's own SOP. Thirdly, excessive force when shooting a firearm at Mr. Brooks. And number 4 is the failure to render timely medical aid. Those are the 4 violations of oath. The 8th is for kicking Mr. Brooks, and the possible sentence for kicking Mr. Brooks is from 1 to 20 years. And we actually have a photograph of the And if you would go to
We're listening in right now to charges for the Atlanta officer
And these are the
responsible for
charges
Rayshard
for,
Brooks' death. They have said
Officer
felony murder
Brosnan,
along with
and
10
they're
other
total of
charges.
3
Let's keep listening.
charges. And the first charge is for aggravated assault. And this is for standing or stepping on Mr. Brooks's shoulder. The possible sentence for this crime is 1 to 20 years. And this is a photograph of Officer Brosnan, who you can see to the right. And at the time of the photograph, he is standing on the body of Mr. Brooks. And as I've indicated earlier in our conversations with Officer Brosnan, he has admitted that he stood on the body of Mr. Brooks. He said he believes that he was standing on Mr. Brooks's arm, but that is what the photograph shows. We've also charged him with additionally 2 violations of oath. One is for the standing on the shoulder. That is an unauthorized weaponless control technique, which the city of Atlanta prohibits. And the second violation of oath was for the failure to render timely medical aid to Mr. Brooks. Let's see. So the arrest warrants have already been signed. We are asking Officer Roth and Officer Brosnan to surrender themselves by 6 p.m. on tomorrow. Because Officer Brosnan is now becoming a cooperating witness for the state, we are asking the court to grant a bond of $50,000 and to allow Mr. Officer Brosnan to sign that bond. As I indicated, that he would become one of the first police officers to actually indicate that he is willing to testify against someone in his own department.
So we are
As for
listening
Officer
to
Roth,
the the Georgia District Attorney Paul Howard Jr. has been talking, the Fulton County, Georgia District Attorney, on the charges for Officer Rolfe, who was responsible for the death of Rayshard Brooks, charged with felony murder, along with 10 other counts that are too many for me to list with the last 45 seconds that I have here to talk to you. That felony murder charge, punishable by life in prison without parole or the death penalty. So we are going to watch the reaction here. I tweeted this out and getting a lot of immediate reaction on Twitter, thinking that this is significant overcharge of what has happened. And we will there's going to be a lot of experts weighing in on this. We'll try to get somebody on the show tomorrow, an expert legal opinion to discuss this very event. So the news has come out. They have charged the Atlanta police officer responsible for the death of Rayshard Brooks with felony murder, punishable by life in prison without parole or the death penalty, along with 10 other charges. I'm sure the Dave Glover Show is coming up next to break down what is happening here. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. You can stream us at radio.com. Make sure you subscribe to the Annie Frey Show YouTube channel. See you tomorrow. Dave Glover next.
I stopped smoking with Mark Patrick's hypnosis when nothing else worked. 1 year later, my wife Michelle and I attended the Mark Patrick weight loss hypnosis seminar. In 2 months, lost 43 pounds, and she lost 18 pounds. And we feel great.
Stop smoking or lose weight now. Live online interactive seminars with America's hypnotist Mark Patrick for the greater St. Louis area, Saturday, June 20th. Register now, only $40.